This episode brought to you by the following patrons: Heather, Min, Jason, Madeline, Alyssa, Laura, Jeremy with the laser eyes, Allie, Kristen, and Tia. And all the patrons want you to know you're loved, you're listened to, and you're a valuable member of this awesome Horror Virgin community. And if you want to hang out with us, do so in the Facebook group or the Horror Virgin subreddit, where we'll be hanging out daily. Paige, I'm going to need you to explain something to me.
Happy to.
At 9:50 a.m. my time, I received the following text. Conjuring 4, taked baby, meet it later bar, night or day sometimes.
Yeah.
What? It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, right?
Yeah, essentially the demon in this movie is basically like, ha ha, I have your baby, except it's an adult now, come meet at this house.
Right.
That's the movie.
Kind of, yeah.
I think it makes perfect sense.
Because of the implication, Paige?
Yeah, it's perfectly sane and succinct, like denim chicken. Thank you for tuning into Horror Virgin. I'm Paige.
And I'm your Horror Virgin, Todd, which means I don't like scary movies and you guys make me watch them. And this last week of the year 2025,
correct,
Paige made us watch the last, hopefully,
definitely not,
Conjuring movie, Last Rites.
It's definitely not the last one.
Oh, yeah.
They 100% set up Tony and the daughter, and those movies are going to be awful.
Oh, Paige, yeah. Okay, so I do have to sort of up front, I think, acknowledge the fact that I have a bias towards not liking these movies because they're about Ed and Lorraine Warren. Like, I feel the same way about this that I do The Great Showman, which is a very different type of movie, but like also about a terrible person who like did terrible things.
Right.
And so like I don't want to watch it because of that. I'll argue, I think P.T. Barnum was way worse than the Warrens. The Warrens just scam people.
I'll agree with you on that, yeah.
But like P.T. Barnum like killed animals for profit. It was crazy.
All the time.
Yeah. Anyway, I think he like burned an aquarium down. Like that's the kind of guy P.T. Barnum was. Not just like insurance evil, but like kind of figured out how to burn down something that's water-based. Anyway, he's like smart about it, I guess is my point.
I was actually kind of surprised that like when this movie came out just a month or two ago, in that time we've had a couple like posts in the Facebook group that are like, are the Warrens really that bad? It's up for debate. And I'm like, it's not up for debate. This is a historical fact thing, but...
I mean, they were scam artists, but like next to like a P.T. Barnum, they're not...
Sure.
Yeah.
But here's what I'm saying. People are debating whether they're scam artists. And I was like, where the fuck is this coming from? We know they were scam artists. And I don't mean this as some, like, I believe that there are weird spiritual things out there. I don't mean in the sense of like ghosts aren't real. I know that some people believe that ghosts aren't real and that's why they think they're scam artists. I mean, they're scam artists in that they took other people's work and were constantly just showing up at sites of air quotes famous hauntings and then conning those people into giving their life rights away and then publishing books where the people who were haunted got no money and then turning around and selling other people's investigations as if it was their own and just fully making shit up and then publishing it.
They were kind of like the people today who like, hey, I'm going to like use your life rights.
Yes.
But you'll get all the clout. It's like, I'm not going to pay you to do work.
I'm paying you an exposure.
Yeah, I'm going to pay you an exposure.
Yeah.
They just like developed that business model in like the 70s and 80s around hauntings, right?
Yes. And I'm like, there's no debate. Like we have functional, factual evidence about them doing that.
Yeah.
We also know about the teenager that Ed groomed and like moved into their house, which by the way, their contract with Warner Brothers says that the movies can't mention that.
Yep.
Like they literally had to put it in writing because it was a real thing that people know about. Like they are bad people. And I was like, where is all of the confusion about what Ed and Lorraine actually were coming from? Like I know the movies exist and that's a fictionalized version of them and they're fun Christian superheroes.
Right.
But then I got to the end of this movie and the like title card at the end of this movie almost made me punch my television.
I know. Paige, I wrote it down. I wrote it down. Yeah. At age 74, Ed suffered a massive stroke and was revived but remained immobile. Lorraine became his sole nurse and caretaker and was at his side when he died 5 years later. Lorraine did not remarry and passed away peacefully at home at age 92. And then the last one that I find more objection to
the one.
is
Yes.
Ed and Lorraine Warren openly spoke about the paranormal at a time when doing so invited ridicule from the scientific community.
Bullshit.
Like it wouldn't today. I mean, like, yeah, but like, yeah. It definitely did invite ridicule because it's a scam. While their lives and work remain controversial, the Warrens are credited with helping to bring paranormal research to the mainstream and are considered by many to be pioneers in the field.
No, that is functionally not true. Like, that is infuriatingly false.
Paige, all of the text on that title card is as true as based on a true story, which they also put on a title card in this movie. So like, yeah, of course, none of this is true.
Now, here's the thing I will say about the based on a true story part that I found really wild for this one, because like the first two are based on cases. Now, specifically, not cases that Ed and Lorraine actually really did a lot of work on. If we talked about this during Conjuring 2, because that is like a haunting case.
That was the Enfield case, right?
It's the Enfield case. It's a haunting case that I find really fascinating. And Ed and Lorraine were there for a day. They showed up, took some pictures, fucking left, and claimed all the credit for a bunch of work other people did.
Are you mad at them because they're efficient? Like, I don't understand your complaint here. Yeah, they came there in 24 hours, knocked it out. It was like the Ghostbusters page.
Gone. Right. But the details of the case, at least, of like the kind of haunting that was going on, is kind of depicted in the movie. They do cut some characters out, but like those are closer to what could happen in, you know, if you're trying to go based on a true story. I know you're writing a movie, Ed and Lorraine are the famous people, like, but those are still close to the cases.
Yeah.
The third one was offensively bad.
Yeah.
Because the third one was that actual murder case where they were like, it was a witch. It's so crazy.
Literally, the devil made me do it. Like, literally.
Literally the devil.
Yes.
But then this one is essentially completely made up.
The Smurl case is a real case.
It is, but none of the real case details are in this movie. Not at all. Like, they just used the name, basically. And to be honest, there's not much of the haunting in this movie. Like, this movie is mostly, what dress is Judy gonna wear? And let's have a barbecue and play ping pong. There is so shockingly little haunting or scary anything in this movie that of course it's made up. We're not even seeing it on the screen. This movie exists almost entirely to set up Tony and Judy as the next generation, which, let's fucking talk about it. If you follow the ghost hunting paranormal world seriously at all, there's a huge controversy going on with them right now because, like, Tony owns the air quotes museum, which is just a tough shed full of shit.
It's their demon containment unit that, like, is the only place strong enough to house this evil mirror at the end of the movie, and all the other, like, Annabelle's in there. Like, Annabelle's actually in many places in this movie, but that's where she lives, right?
Right.
And it's just like a tough shit. It's like their split level, where, like, the up level is like where they live, and the other split level, the lower level, is just like their museum demon containment unit.
That's how they do it in the movie. That's not what it's like in real life.
Oh, I haven't seen it in real life. But in the movie, it's just like the lower level of their house, man. It's not like it's protected for any reason. You know what I'm saying?
No, and the movie makes their house a lot nicer. Because we know someone who's been to the museum.
Yes, we do. Yeah.
Blaine Gibson famously has been to the museum.
Yeah.
And I've seen pictures of the museum. I haven't had a chance to go. And it is literally a tough shed full of weird crap. Like, it looks like a rundown antique store. Like, it's not scary at all.
But Paige, it's a haunted antique store.
But there's stuff in there that's like, this is a plastic Toy Story McDonald's figure, but it's haunted. I also have questions about the stuff they have in the museum in the movie, but we'll get to it when we get to it in the movie. But all that to say is, when Ed and Lorraine passed away, Lorraine was managing the estate. She was very particular about what Warner Brothers could say about them in the movies, and essentially the lore of the Warrens comes from Lorraine, which, as far as like the teen Ed groomed and stuff, like, there is a degree to which Lorraine is a victim of Ed's horrifying behavior. But then when she continued to cover it up after he died, at that point I'm like, a little complicit, Lorraine. Not cool.
Well, because she knew about. I think it's because she knew about. This is all speculation, obviously, because I didn't ever talk to her. But I think it's because she knew and either felt guilty and just didn't want it to get out, or just didn't want it to get out.
Whatever. Who knows, right? Yeah. So, like, on top of that, now that Lorraine has passed, Tony is running the estate. And Tony owns the museum and all that stuff. And that's basically his only job, is running the estate. And so any attempts at lionizing the Warrens, or making the family look like it has more power than it does, or making the items in the tough shed seem more magical, directly financially benefit Tony. And so that's why Annabelle's been on a tour. So it's this whole of like, oh, it's so evil, it can only be kept in the case. We're taking it on tour though, like whatever.
Yep.
And then one of the guys that was on tour with them died of a heart attack. He had other heart problems. Annabelle did not kill him, although that would be a way better story.
That's going to be the next movie. I swear to God. That's going to be the next movie.
Is.
Yeah.
You know it is. And like, the tour was not selling tickets even after that guy died. And this is why, and a million of you messaged me things about it, this is why Matt Rife essentially is leasing the Warrens' property and the museum for the next 5 years. And there's a debate as to whether or not that is him trying to capture some of the market share for his friend Zach Baggins. There's like a whole conspiracy theory about all of the various ghost hunting people and the money they make off their attractions, and who is going to own what, air quotes, haunted items. Because I think Zach Baggins just wants Annabelle, particularly. Anyway, that was a lot, but it's the Warrens, so it's on topic, I guess.
Yeah, technically, yeah.
Yeah.
But like, if you put all of that aside and watch the movie in the universe in which it exists,
right,
where all of this is real and the Warrens are,
right,
for whatever reason, Christian superheroes, like, the movie does a good job scaring me. So like, I don't think it's not scary. If you like horror movies, you might like it a lot, but for the reasons I don't like want to watch The Greatest Showman, I don't want to watch this either. But I'll say this, like, if it was just about a husband and wife who do this shit and it's not like based on real life scam artists, I'm way more into it. You know what I'm saying? From a like, I could like these characters standpoint. But because it's the Warrens, they come with all this pre-built baggage, which sucks.
I mean, here's what I will say, and I will stop harping on real life Warrens for a bit. I'll pepper it in later, but I don't want the whole episode to be about that.
Right.
But here's what I will say. I have heard a lot of people say that, real Warrens aside, they really like the movie Warrens. And I fully understand that. I do.
Me too. The way they're presented in the movie, if that actually existed in real life, they would be like the best people ever.
Sure.
They'd be the best friends to have. Are you kidding me? Anyone who can get rid of the real world demonic stuff that actually can happen, I want to befriend those people, because that's the world they take place in, right?
Sure.
They take place in a world where demons exist and they have the monopoly on busting them.
I mean, here's what I will say though, because I stand on the first two Conjuring movies are great. Like, whatever you believe about the Warrens, 1 and 2, fucking great.
They are good movies. Like, yes, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. 3, even within the universe, dumb. 4, this one, even within the universe, better than 3.
I think it's better than 3 too. Yes, I agree.
However, it spends way too much time on their personal lives and not the haunting.
That's the stuff I liked, though. But I really loved the way it showed that Tony is just like one of those well-known seance Romeos. You know what I'm saying, Paige? Like, the dude just wants to get in with this family because he's into paranormal ladies, and I get it.
But here's the thing. Would you rather have that or the kid that's in love with the little girl from Black Phone?
I don't really want either.
No. I mean, but think about it, because we talked about this with Black Phone.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just wanted to make a joke where I coined a phrase about like what it is to be a dude that's into seance ladies, and it was Seance Romeo.
Yeah, I'm just saying, we've had 2 examples of Seance Romeos.
Yes, it is a thing, and it does not have a name, which is why I gave it one.
Ed is a Seance Romeo.
He is. I think that Tony is just like Ed.
Yes.
He knows, he can see the scam. It's not positioned that way, but he can see the scam, and like Judy's his type, so great, and they get along, so they get married or whatever.
100%.
But like, I do think this movie shows that he has an interest in the paranormal before he proposes.
Right.
That is clear in this movie, and I kind of like that. I also really like that they finally explain why Annabelle hates Judy specifically so much, and it's because she's one of Tony's exes.
Oh,
think about it,
boo.
Paige. She's dressed like Maria from West Side Story, and where was Maria going? Who did she meet the night of the dance, Paige?
Ooh,
Tony.
Dang, Tony.
That's right. Oh, and Paige, up until this point, the only like nod that character was Maria, not Annabelle, is that she looks like she was lost at sea.
Oh, boo.
I'm so sorry.
Boo. Like the Santa Maria.
I'm so sorry, Natalie. My wife and Wood.
There you go.
Yeah.
I would say they definitely are trying to paint Tony as a new Ed so that they can retire Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga.
Oh, yes.
Not realizing that those two are the only reasons that Ed and Lorraine work is because of them.
Oh, Paige, I definitely think the next movie will do well with them. I think it will do well. But can I be honest? I would like a more honest casting.
Sure.
So instead of this dude, who I think did a great job playing Tony,
no
complaints about the acting. He just doesn't look like a former cop from this area of the country.
Correct.
So I am asking, could we get accurate casting and just get Henry Zabrowski on it? Like, there's no way. I don't even know what Tony looks like, but I just know it's like that. You know what I'm saying?
As much as I would love Henry to get all the work in the world,
right?
For as much as we have said bad about the Warrens.
Oh no, I know he'd never do it, but he might do it. You know what I'm saying? Like as a wink and a nod.
No, here's the thing. I think Henry would absolutely do it. I think the Warren estate would never allow it.
They would never allow it. Yeah, 100%.
Here's what I think is really interesting that I noticed in this movie that I can't believe I had never really noticed in the other multiple Conjuring films. So Ed is a seance Romeo as well, right?
Yes. I love that that's now what we call it. I love it. Thank you for adopting my nomenclature.
You're welcome. Ed is a seance Romeo in that he has no powers. He's just in love with Lorraine.
Right.
He's there to support and love Lorraine.
He's a husband trying to do right by his special wife.
He's trying to do right by his weird psychic wife.
Yes.
And I realized this in this one, and then I thought back to all the other Conjuring movies and realized it happens in all of them. If Ed has no powers and is not a pastor, priest, or any sort of holy man, why is he doing the exorcisms every time?
Paige, you were worried about a man doing a job in the 80s.
Correct.
More than you are with a man making pancakes for a family in the 80s in a house full of women. Like, that is the most inaccurate thing I would have seen in the 80s, honestly. Just knowing the time period. Not saying it was good.
No, but I like to think that pancakes and waffles are the only thing Ed knows how to make. And it's because they come from a mix.
You know what's so funny? That's like the shit my dad would make because like that's all 100%. He could make. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Until the day he shook up the Bisquick like shake-in canister and it was like not like screwed on all over and we got pancake mix all over our kitchen. Yeah, That was a fun morning.
I told you about the time I accidentally flipped a pancake into a ceiling fan, right? I flew too close to the sun.
It's just raining loose goo.
Yeah, essentially. And then it flung. So one half of the pancake was cooked, right? So the top half was still goo.
Right.
Flung goo, but then it flung the pancake and splatted against the wall and stuck there because the other half was cooked.
I would have been so mad, but I would have laughed immediately. Like, that's like one of those like, oh my God, amazing. I hate that I'm the adult that has to clean that, but that's hilarious.
And it was in my own apartment and I was the adult who had to clean it, but I did laugh instantly about it. But that's all I'm saying is like, Ed has no powers, and yet this movie treats it like he has powers, like his powers are equal to Lorraine, even though they are non-existent. And I found that very interesting as I thought through it today.
Honestly, I don't know if they have any powers at all in this movie, because largely all this movie shows is that they are terrible at moving mirrors.
Oh, my lord.
They destroy this house at the end because they can't get the mirror down the hallway, Paige.
Pivot!
But Paige, maybe we should just go through this movie scene by glorious scene.
We open on an older case of the Warrens. 420, blaze it.
What?
1964.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. I legit forgot, even though I just watched this movie maybe an hour and a half ago.
Right.
That this movie starts off with Judy getting almost ghost punched to death.
Yeah, basically. But also with a woman that they abandoned, and I assume that woman dies.
Yeah, well, because, okay, so they're at this lady's, it's kind of like a
Antique
business,
store.
right? Yeah.
It's an antique store.
That her dad clearly owned, and he may have taken his own life. Or did he, right? Because of the possession or demonic possession that's there. And so that guy, who we don't know his name, but his daughter, who we also don't know her name, is explaining this to the Warrens.
Victoria Granger is her name.
Great. But she's explaining what's gone on, and that something is in the business, like something is going on in the storeroom.
Right.
And so they immediately get up, and Lorraine goes into the storeroom, and she's like, hey, don't turn on the lights. Like, it's insane to me that, like, they are sitting in a lighted room, and she walks into the one room that's haunted and is like, I don't need the lights. Anyway, she needed the lights. She sees this mirror, right?
Wait, hold on. We got to cover some stuff before that happens.
We do. I'm sorry. I'm scooping ahead. Skipping, not scooping. I am sorry.
You're scooping ahead. But first of all, this movie made a really interesting choice that I actually respect. And that is, they didn't digitally de-age Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga. They just hired other actors that kind of look like them. And they got close enough that it doesn't really bug you in the movie.
It doesn't. I was like, oh.
It worked for me. It was fine.
I mean, that's probably around what Patrick looked like 25 years ago or whatever. Yeah. I kind of liked that they didn't do the de-aging thing, just because a lot of times it doesn't look great. And this would be that. I mean, had they done that, that would have been the second problem that I had with this movie, that I also had with the Indiana Jones and the Island of the Crystal Skull movie or whatever, which is that don't try and set up a character that's supposed to take the franchise over. Like, let's just do a movie about a thing.
Right.
In that movie, it was Shia LaBeouf. But, like, I don't need to see him swinging through trees with monkeys while he's holding a saber. Like, that's insane. Stop it.
Stop. But this, I mean, because recently I feel like everyone tries to de-age people because they can, and they don't really give a lot of thought to whether or not it looks as good as it can. Like, we saw this in Wicked Part 2, which admittedly is otherwise a visually stunning film.
Absolutely.
And then you see young Jeff Goldblum and you're like, no.
Right. And Jeff Goldblum, from a time period when he actually did look like a young Jeff Goldblum, would have said,
right,
you spent so much time wondering if you could, you didn't wonder if you should.
Exactly.
Right.
And then he, like, dropped some water on the top of somebody's hand. It was like, where's the Chilean sea bass?
And he was trying to bang Sam Neill's girlfriend, and I understand why.
I get it. It's Laura Dern. She's beautiful. She's a revelation. Laura Dern is a revelation.
And too young for Sam Neill, and I think Sam Neill would say that.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, the other thing to note in this scene is that Lorraine is visibly pregnant.
Yeah, which is why I think she's like, fine. She's like, listen, if the demon attacks me, it'll have to go through the baby first. So it's kind of like having like a 1.5 shield, or like she has a bumper, kind of. She's got a baby bumper, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And the demon will like be absorbed into the baby. If you think I'm crazy by saying this, that's exactly what happens. Like, that is in the movie. So like, I just think she knows that going in. That's why she feels safe walking into an unlit room that has a demon in it. Like, she is making all the wrong choices, Paige.
Here's what I'm going to say. Pregnant ladies out there, I know some of you are listening to this.
Please don't do this.
Don't do this.
Right.
Don't walk into dark rooms because you already can't see your feet. And if there's stuff on the ground, you're going to trip on it. That's just safety for you.
Yeah.
Right? Like, Lorraine, what you doing?
Yeah.
But Lorraine wanders into a very cluttered, dark room.
Which means she definitely stepped on a Lego or two. You know what I'm saying? Like,
100%.
I don't know how she managed to miss the mismatched roller skates that where they were trying to sell either.
Right.
Like they were just
right.
all over the floor. She missed that whole like Tonka truck section where like, you know, it's like one of those big like dumpsters where you like put your foot in it and just skate around the, yeah. She almost like pratfalled 9 or 10 times in this scene.
100%. It's an antique store. There's just fucking old pulleys and shit around. Like, there's a million things to walk into.
Turn a light on, you moron. That's all we're saying.
Here's the crazier thing. She walks into this unlit room, locates the only item covered by a sheet. Clearly the haunted one.
Yes, that's the evil thing. Obviously, Paige. Obviously, that's the evil thing.
Right? Like, it's already dressed like a ghost.
Boo, Paige. Boo. How dare you? How dare you?
This sheet was the sheet I forged in life. She takes the sheet down. She reaches out to touch the mirror. And I, in looking at the mirror, I was like, this is the most haunted mirror I've ever seen.
Yes.
Even it's more haunted than, what was it, Oculus? What was the one that had the haunted? It's more haunted than that mirror.
It was Oculus. Yeah. That movie.
Yes.
Man, I was impressed with that movie. It would scare the shit out of me on such a low budget. Like that's the movie where I was like, this guy's a great filmmaker.
I remember liking the concept and not the execution as much, story-wise. Visually, great.
He's done way better stuff, but this is like his earliest thing where I was like, oh, he's good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It is Oculus to think it of.
She reaches out, she touches the mirror.
Yes.
It cracks.
Immediately.
And then it's evil Lorraine. And then she immediately goes into labor. That's when I started laughing in this movie and never stopped. This movie effectively became a comedy for me. I am going to unfortunately rate this very low on the scary scale because I couldn't stop laughing at it at multiple points. And this is the first one where I was just like, demon labor.
Yeah, I wasn't like scared because you can see it coming a mile away, kind of.
Right.
And it's not like jump scary scared. Like it's not that kind of thing.
Right.
But when they get to the hospital, it does become more scary to me because like the demon follows them there.
Right. Which I do think is something that previous Conjurings have kind of touched on, is that demons get attached to people, not just things or places.
Yeah.
Anyway, they get to the hospital. She's losing a lot of blood. They think it's a placental abruption. And then the lights go out.
Yeah.
Looks like it's going to be a disco birth.
It's not. All we see is like the creepy kind of arm coming in through the ceiling and like.
That was a good effect. That was good.
It was, yeah, this kind of scared me. Even though it wasn't jump scary, it is very like, oh my God, what is happening? Kind of scary.
Sure.
But largely because while we see the thing crawling on the ceiling, I guess OBGYN, the doctor, is like all up in her junk because he's like delivering a baby. I'm not saying he's doing anything wrong, but it's like this weird juxtaposition of evil and like baby coming.
Okay, so the thing on the ceiling kind of creeps in slowly.
Yeah.
And so it takes a second. And I thought for sure that she was going to look down between her legs and the doctor was going to pop up and have like a Juggalo for Christ face.
Same. I thought yeah. I was expecting that kind of jump scare, which we don't really get because of what happens. And I honestly kind of hate when movies that are like based on a real story do this kind of thing. Like I find it somewhat like mean, honestly. And that is like take a real world moment that has been the worst moment for many people who might be watching this movie and then just be like, oh man, it's a shame you didn't pray hard enough because then your baby wouldn't have died. And a movie that like 5 minutes ago said based on a true story. Like it actually didn't bother me that much. It made me feel bad for anybody who might have experienced that real life tragedy watching this. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
But if you watch the movie in the world in which it takes place, that happens.
Right.
You know, that is a thing. Yeah.
And if you watch the movie in the world in which it takes place, it would have been better if this is a Catholic hospital and one of the nuns in the room working as a nurse turned out to be the nun. But no.
Yeah. That would have been hilarious.
I would have fucking died.
But like a young version, you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, just the young, it's Tessa Farmiga instead of Vera Farmiga. Just like, hey, you look familiar.
But you do see, like, the baby comes out. It's got the cord wrapped around its neck. They're trying to, like, save it, and it does not come back. And the doctor actually does, you might say, first and last rites for the baby.
Yes,
And then that's when they take the baby, and they're, like, hugging it and, like, praying or whatever, and the baby comes back to life. And that baby becomes Judy.
Okay, so this is another place in which a hilarious intrusive thought got me.
Judy Gemstone.
No, that would have been amazing.
Oh, that's where I went. Okay. Yeah, everything Judy said in this movie, I heard through the lens of Judy Gemstone, which did make it very funny to me.
If they just replaced Judy in this movie with Judy Gemstone,
100%.
No other changes. Oh my God.
Honestly, get the actress who plays Judy Gemstone, obviously. But yes, shot for shot, say every line. I want the script the same. I just want her line delivery.
No, I don't want the script.
No. Just think about it from like the script exactly the same, but her line delivery, everything like passive aggressive and like sarcastic. It would be insane.
Hilarious. But I want the vulgarity of Judy Gemstone of like, all right, and Lorraine, I'll move to Florida and shave my pussy, okay? It's like, why would you shave your pussy? So I can surf faster, Jesse. Like, that's what I want.
Yeah.
Or just like, damn, that ghost made me slicker than a slip and slide. Like that kind of crazy shit.
Exactly.
That was not.
Exactly.
That's not where my brain went. But I thought it was really funny that like they go through all the thing of like the baby's not breathing and then like they're praying and there's like a light through the window and there's this like rising music and they're like, and what will her name be? And they're just like, Judy. And it was the most like, and I know it's her real name, so you have to like use it.
Can you imagine watching this as Judy and being like, I guess that's how my birth went down. Like it's like, what did I do as a fetus that upset that demon so much it did kill me.
I mean, till I got older and I could kick the shit out of that demon. Don't even come at me, ho. Like, if it's Judy Gemstone, then it's great. But I just thought it was like, I know, and again, I know it's a real name, so you have to use a real name, but they really build it up and they're like, what's her name? As if it's going to be like, Jessica Conifafa, like something really interesting and long and
with a lot more F's than you'd expect at the beginning of the word. Like it just ended up with a lot more F's in it.
Or just like magnanimous or whatever, just something that's like, oh, but it's like Judy.
Well, you didn't get her full name. It's Judy Magnanimous Warren.
Jessica Conifafa. Yeah. But I just thought it was such a build-up for Judy.
Yeah.
And I couldn't stop laughing at it.
It is kind of funny. But then it needle drops 1986 and a band that I love. And I was like, hell yeah, the cult, She Sells Sanctuary. Let's go.
It doesn't. There is a scene before that.
Oh, shit. My bad. There is a scene right before that. Yeah.
It's very important because
it is.
It ruined the rest of the movie for me in a hilarious way. There is a scene where Judy is probably 10-ish and she runs to Lorraine and is like, I'm seeing horrible things and they won't go away. And Lorraine teaches her a song to make them go away, which also, Lorraine, you're psychic. Just like teach her how to be psychic.
And clearly she's got the shine, right?
She shines. She has Tony in her finger.
Right.
Or maybe the other way around, but like, you get it.
This movie, okay, Paige, I was going to save this for later, but this movie, like the women in this movie cannot stop themselves from fingering that hole in the mirror.
Yeah.
They do it a ton.
Yeah. But here's the intrusive thought that ruined me for the rest of the movie. She teaches her a song, and then anytime Judy gets stressed out or sees a spirit or senses something, she whisper sings that song to herself.
Uh-huh.
And all I kept thinking was, there are so many hilarious bad songs that could be whispered. And anytime she went to whisper herself the song, I would just do a new one where I was just like, it's been 1 week since you looked at me, cocked your head at the side and said, I'm angry. Or just like, from the top, make it drop. That's some wet ass pussy. Or just like, X gon' give it to you. Fuck, wait for you to get it on your own. X gonna deliver it to you. Because like, if you deliver it the same way Judy does, where she's like scared and whispering, it's hilarious with every song. And it made me laugh the whole movie. The entire movie. I couldn't get rid of it. I just was like, what? How bad of a song can we get? Like, my milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. And they're like, it's better than yours. You're not real. And they're like, it's better than yours.
Paige.
It was so funny to me.
You want to know what would be like a period accurate worst song for her to sing?
Yes.
Or whisper sing to herself?
Yes.
My ding-a-ling, I want you to play with my ding-a-ling.
Oh. Oh.
Which is an actual Chuck Berry song from around this time.
That is true. You could have also gone with My Sharona.
Well, that song's a little less on the nose, but it is pretty obvious if you actually pay attention to the verses. Yeah.
Right. Because we cut to 1986 where we're going to hear her like whisper sing a lot. But like I kept, even in like, you could do hilarious period accurate ones like The Stroke. Like, stroke me. Like, I love myself. I want you to love me. Like, there's so many options. But then I also was like yin yang twins of just like, hey, little mama, let me whisper in your ear. Like, all of it was funny to me.
Yeah.
Anyway, 1986, West Pittston, Pennsylvania. We see that same evil mirror, or rather, we're about to.
Yeah.
Because we show up to the Smurl house and they are getting ready for their daughter's confirmation. So they go to the church, she gets confirmed. They give her the haunted evil mirror as a confirmation gift.
Yeah. Do you get confirmation gifts? Like she got a confirmation cake and a confirmation gift. I didn't know that was like a deal. Like, is that how it goes?
So I'm not Catholic. My mom was Catholic. So you do your first communion when you're much younger, and then you continue to take catechism classes. And when you finish, usually in your early teens is when you would get confirmed. And I might have my timeline a little wrong, but I believe that is also when you choose your like Catholic name, if that makes sense. Like you choose a name that resonates with you. A lot of other Christian religions have a similar thing. The version of Protestantism I grew up with doesn't have one of these. Anything at this time in your life or anything to kind of represent this, but in the Catholic Church, it's kind of like, hey, you're done learning what this faith is about. Now you're an adult and you take it for yourself and you then participate in the church as an adult from that point forward.
Right. It's like a rite of passage.
Yeah. So yeah, people do give gifts, I believe.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, and I don't know if this is a one-to-one correlation because I'm not either of these things, but it sounds to me like it's a little bit of a bat mitzvah for her on some level. I don't know that that's a one-to-one thing, but it is like her becoming an adult in the eyes of the church and maybe her community.
Yeah, kind of.
I'm guessing. I don't know.
I think that's close. It's not exact because it's not necessarily linked to a birthday, right?
Fair enough.
It's just whenever you finish that part of your study.
Catechism classes or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. I think people usually get crucifixes and nice rosaries. But I mean, yeah, I'm sure they get other stuff.
Yeah, I didn't know if it would be weird to get a mirror like this from your grandparents for your confirmation.
I think it's weird to get a mirror anytime.
I definitely think it's weird to give your, I don't know, how old do you think she is? 14?
Yeah, she's probably 14 or 15.
14-year-old granddaughter, a wooden mirror with 3 creepy baby heads at the top and a crack in it. I was like, I get that you got this at the swap meet and you guys live here, so obviously no one's got a shitload of money, so like that's fine.
Right.
There was probably something else at an entire swap meet more appropriate for this than this 100%. Creepy wooden mirror that's broken.
100%. You couldn't find a nice antique crucifix that was just in a case of a bunch of other crucifixes?
You couldn't find something that wasn't an indeterminate amount of time into these 7 years of bad luck going on around it?
Right, because it's already broken.
Yes.
I'm gonna present 2 possibly controversial opinions. Number 1, they set this up in the movie that there's one bathroom and she couldn't do her hair because she couldn't get in.
Yes, that's what's happening before the confirmation. Yeah.
Right. And so I think the movie puts that scene in, to, continue to display that they are poor and too many people living in one house.
Yeah.
But also, I think that's the grandparents' justification of like, well, now you have a mirror in your room, but it's such a giant freaky mirror and whatever. Secondly, and this is just maybe my level of weird superstition, never buy anyone a large mirror for their house. That's a real design choice. And mirrors can be creepy, even just not even supernaturally. If you put a mirror at the wrong angle in your house, it's always going to look like somebody's walking through the hallway and shit out of the corner of your eye. And it'll just freak you out all the time. So like, I feel like placing mirrors in your house should be a weirdly personal choice. So unless someone asks you for one directly, I don't think you should buy mirrors for people.
Fair. I won't.
Good.
But we more or less just like see this scene with, the confirmation and then the gift of the mirror. And then it cuts to Ed and Lorraine Warren doing like an Ed talk called The Demon in the Details, What 10,000 House Calls Taught Us About Fear, or whatever their
whatever
touring thing is called. It should have been called Escrow of Secrets, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1 affair. Like, that's what it should have been called, but that's not what it was called.
Oh, no, but here's the thing. If you're going to go with Escrow of Secrets, it's 2 bed, 2 bath, 1 uninvited guest. And that could be the ghost or the teenager you're grooming.
Or the affair partner. Yeah, 100%. But I do love that the kids that are there to see it are like taking the piss out of it immediately. Like, they're doing what you should do when someone's giving this type of paranormal sort of like presentation.
Yes.
And that is poke holes in it and like make fun of it.
However, this is, and I know I'm largely just trying to live in the world of the movie, but timeline-wise, this is historically inaccurate. This is 1986. This is the height of the satanic panic.
I know.
Those lectures were packed, and Ed and Lorraine were on TV every goddamn fucking day. Like, they had money, and there were people with butts in seats. And so I think it's wild that the movie's like, yeah, they just really weren't as popular in the 80s. The fuck are you talking about?
That was the height, baby.
That's the height. Like, what are you you literally, at the end of the movie, show clips of them on TV from this time.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? Anyway, kids are not at their presentation. Inaccurate, but fine. And they go to dinner to like, hey, you know what? Maybe kids just aren't as into ghosts anymore. Whatever.
Right. This is the time period they would have been, but yeah.
Right.
I mean, Ghostbusters came out. They're making fun of them using Ghostbusters as a reference.
Right. And Ghostbusters was like based on other people doing the same research at the same time that Dan Aykroyd was fascinated with. Like,
right. Which is largely into the paranormal. And like that was very pervasive in pop culture at the time. Like, yes.
Super pervasive. At this time, a guy that we covered on Cult Podcast one time used to drive to schools with a school bus that he called the Witchmobile and make kids feel grave dirt. Look, like weird shit was happening at the time. Ed and Lorraine were definitely still popular.
That bus driver went on to be Gravedigger in the WWE.
Gravedigger!
Actually, I think Gravedigger was a monster truck, right?
It's a monster truck. Yeah. You're thinking of The Undertaker.
I am.
Yes.
But I didn't realize that he started out as a bus Gravedigger.
I mean, he's big enough to be one.
Must have hit that gym.
That's what's up.
You know what I'm saying? Got into shape, started jumping trucks. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't lose weight. He gained muscle. Anyway, while they're at dinner, Lorraine feels like she smells a ghost. And then Judy starts with her like, sometimes I run, sometimes I hide. And
sometimes I'm scared of ghosts.
But all I really want is the demon night.
My last rites.
Yeah. Just hang around and you'll see this mirror is evil me. Anyway,
it is.
She's having a struggle. And Lorraine, because Lorraine also smells the ghost, which, this is a weird note, but I know you're going to back me up on this.
Yeah.
The way it's shot anytime Lorraine smells a ghost, which is just, it looks like she's smelling one. That's why I say it that way.
Yep.
It's always shot over her right shoulder for her to turn and smell. However, it should be the left shoulder. If we're doing this from multiple perspectives, from a filmmaking perspective, if you want to unsettle your audience, it should be, especially if you have a Western audience, it should be on the left.
Yeah.
Because that unsettles people. That's why Hereditary did so much of that, right?
Yeah.
Also, if you're thinking about, I forget the fancy word for it, angel on one side, devil on the other. There is an actual fancy word, devil's left side. And so when she's smelling ghosts on the right side, it's like, you smelling angels? No, girl.
Angel farts.
Angels.
Smells like, honestly, when you take a Cinnabon out of the oven.
I was going to say Krispy Kreme donuts.
Boom.
That
similar smell. Yeah, 100%.
Baked goods.
Yeah.
So I feel like she should be smelling ghosts over her left shoulder, personally. And I think the only reason they don't is because maybe her right side's her good side, like camera-wise.
Yeah, who knows?
But just a thought, if you're out there and you want to make a movie where people smell ghosts over their shoulder, try the left one. Anyway, it breaks that 180-degree line. That's probably why they won't do it. But that's why it makes people uncomfortable, and that's why you should do it. Anyway,
right.
She smells the ghost. She hears the Britney Spears and then reaches across the table and is like, hey, did you also smell the ghost? And then she sees like a ghost hand on her daughter's shoulder.
And it's like the same color as her denim jacket. So it like blends in, but not enough so it stands out. And it's like, it scared me a little bit. It kind of got me. I was like, denim at a restaurant?
Take your jacket off, Judy. This isn't a Walmart. No.
It was the hand that scared me, not the choice of denim. I don't care. Like, that was fine. It was the hand.
I wear so much denim. But she like freaks out and is like, huh? And then everyone's like, what, Lorraine? And she's like, lasagna. She'll have the lasagna. But that's the point at which I realized Lorraine, so Ed orders, because he's ordering in the background while all this is happening.
Right.
Judy doesn't order. Lorraine orders for Judy. Lorraine never orders. Like, we will cut to later of them all eating, and I was like, Lorraine never ordered food.
Well, I mean, yeah, we don't see it. Hopefully she did get to eat.
I hope so. She needs it for all the ghosts she's going to smell later.
Right.
That said, we cut to the house where Mama Smurl is like collecting laundry, and she sees a toy on the floor that she's like, that doesn't belong here, and takes it to another room. That toy is creepy and evil.
Yes. Yeah.
She goes downstairs to where the washer and dryer and everything is, and there's definitely a figure in the corner. Now, this is something that these movies do really well.
Yeah, this got me.
Which is to put something in a shadow just far enough out of focus that like your eye and your mind's eye knows it's there, but it hasn't engaged with the scene yet.
Yeah.
But then when she turns the light back on, it's just a portrait of John Wayne.
I know. I legit go, how you doing, Pilgrim? Like, I thought it was so funny.
I was like, oh man, they are not brave enough to have a ghost do the sidewalk and like, how you doing, partner? Like,
no, I'm not going to go fight in World War II like every other actor of my day.
Oh man, there is a fascinating documentary about how he was likely killed from radiation on a movie set because they filmed a horribly offensive movie in which he played an Asian person, and they filmed it right outside of where the testing sites were for the Manhattan Project.
Oh, wow. Really? Jesus.
Yes. Yeah. It's fucking nuts. And then the documentary tracks not only all of the people that worked on that movie that died of cancer, which was like so many people. Like
all of them, probably. Like, yeah.
90% of the crew or something. Like, it was crazy.
Everyone who was there was
100%.
Yeah.
But then part of the reason they shot there is because there was a little town they could live in, and that town was never notified that the testing was harmful. So then they tracked 3 generations of the people living in that town for like the rate of them contracting cancer was also insanely high. And then the fight for them to get recognized by the government as it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
But super interesting. Anyway, she is like, oh, that's just John Wayne. And goes back upstairs to like talk to somebody on the phone. And we saw in kind of the montage for the confirmation earlier, they have 2 older daughters who seem to be a year or 2 apart. And then they have a set of twins. And the twins play this game where they hold the phone cord so that like it tightens as the mom's trying to walk away from them, and then they let it go. So we've already seen that game once. This is kind of like the clapping game in the first Conjuring.
Yeah. And they've also done the fact that like when the lights in the the cupboard, maybe, I think it's a cupboard, not a closet.
Pantry.
Yeah, it's like a pantry. When the lights are off in there, you can't really see anybody in there.
Right.
Because the girls hid in there once. And she turned the lights on, it was them. Right now, the girls aren't home, and it's doing it. This honestly scared me. But there's no jump in it, but it still scared me. It was so tense.
Yeah. So she goes to pull the cord thinking it's the girls, but then we see the girls run by in the hallway.
Right.
So she knows it's not the girls, and the phone gets kind of dragged into the pantry, but she turns the lights on. There's nobody there.
Right.
Nobody there. But the girls run upstairs and they see that little crawling evil doll toy. And I was like, this doll is so much scarier than Annabelle. Like, so much. It's such a freaky looking doll. But it like sits up and then floats, and they see it floating in the mirror.
Yeah.
Then they turn around, juggalo for Christ, scary old lady face, just like the nun.
Oh, I thought she looked like Gladys from Weapons.
Gladys has way more style.
Yeah, she looks more like one of the McDonald family. You know, not Ronald themselves, but like a sister or close relative. Yeah.
Ronaldo, yes. You don't think I want to know what Pizzerina Sabaro was wearing to the wedding? That. But those girls go running. Meanwhile, the Daddy Smurl comes home, and the house is chaos. And as the house is all busy and whatever, the 2 older girls are upstairs in the room with the mirror.
Yeah.
And they both kind of remark on how weird they think the mirror is, where the girl who received it as a gift is like, it's so weird. I feel like it's always like the baby angels are watching me and whatever. And the older sister's like, yeah, that middle one looks like you because you were a really ugly baby. You were like such an ugly baby.
Yeah. When mom had you, we would get cards that say, sorry, your baby looks so much like Sloth from the Goonies. And I was like, you're a bitch. Like, that's so mean to say to your sister.
It is, but I'm here to tell you, I've seen a lot of babies and a lot of them look ugly in the beginning. And that doesn't have any bearing on how you look as an adult, but it's only just because they're new to earth and their skin is kind of wrinkly and their heads are smooshed. Like babies need some time to cook to, it's like when you get a mattress from the internet and you have to like open it and then let it inflate over 48 hours.
Yeah, you don't lay on it immediately.
Yeah. Sometimes the fresh one's a little scary.
Yeah.
Anyway. It's trash day the next day, so they carry that mirror down, which there's no way. That mirror would be so fucking heavy.
I did think it was funny that they carried it down. I mean, it is a solid wood mirror. Like, I do think it would be very heavy. But they're like, nah, we got to get this thing out of here. And it's our job to do it. And this makes them, to me, the smartest people in the movie, though, because they recognize the problem immediately and get rid of it immediately.
And remove it from the home, yes.
I don't think that they realized, how powerful it was and the fact that it can reassemble and bring itself back. But they do the right thing here.
Absolutely. But we cut back into the house, in theory, later that morning, because essentially the trash guys pick the mirror up. It breaks the mirror. They were at breakfast that next morning. The mom is making lunches for school. And I just love that we're like hearing all the chatter of the family. And she's trying to like get the dad to move so she can make sandwiches and slaps him with like a Kraft single.
I wrote this down too because it was my favorite cutaway because they're cutting away like from the trash people to them, like just doing their morning routine. It cuts to him and they're both at the sink and she slaps him with the cheese and he goes, don't slap me with the cheese. And I was like,
slap me with cheese.
That's hilarious. I love that. Like, that's such a, like, I don't know. I've never heard someone say a line that silly, but it's like this really relatable moment and it's so funny. I liked it a lot.
That don't slap me with cheese is absolutely something that would be said in my house.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Yeah. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that, but it felt very reminiscent of like being a kid growing up and your parents being silly together, I
mean, I think I've told you about the peanut butter, right?
This could go in so many terrible directions. So yeah, Paige, why don't you tell me the story from your childhood that involves peanut butter?
I was like 17. I was older.
Paige, that makes it more risky. Like, I don't like that at all.
I came downstairs and I could hear my parents laughing in the kitchen.
I'm glad it was downstairs were the next words. But yeah, continue.
Yeah. And it must have been some sort of bit that they had, that they were doing, that they were laughing uncontrollably as my dad was trying to spread peanut butter on my mother's face for some reason. And I walked over and was like, what the fuck are you guys doing? And they just looked at me for a second. And then my dad reached out to put peanut butter on my face. And I was like, no, what? And then they just laughed at me and I went to bed. And we've never talked about it again. But I think they were just having a funny time.
I am a little horrified that you don't know the signs of a secret society when you see one.
Sure.
And your greatest mistake as a child was refusing the call to action your father was going to place on your face in peanut butter.
Look, all I'm going to say is the last time something like that happened, he accidentally put a plum on my sister's nose. And by accidentally, I mean she made the accidental mistake of not thinking he would put a plum on her nose, where she was like, can I smell it? And he was like, sure, blurp, just like directly onto her face.
I don't know your dad as much as I'd like to know your dad, but I know your dad well enough to know that if we started playing Kiss Chicken, we would kiss.
Sure. Yeah. No, of course.
Because he's not going to back down from a bit.
Never.
That's one of the things I really love about the guy.
Yeah. Including the time when, the Baby Bell cheeses that have the wax outside.
Not only do I know that, my sister and her husband make wax figurines out of that wax because of how many they eat. Yeah.
Then you will understand that my father had eaten a Baby Bell cheese and had crumpled the wax up into like a little wax ball.
Yeah.
And he had set it on his plate next to some grapes.
Oh, no.
It was the exact same color. And my sister came up and was like, ha, 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 and then went to go steal grapes off his plate, accidentally taking the wax ball with it. And did he stop her from popping it in her mouth?
Of course not.
No, of course not. Not at all. He just waited to see what happened. And she was like, oh, what is this? And he was like, baby bell wax, don't steal grapes off my plate.
He also hired a one-armed man to yell it from across the room, but yeah.
Always leave a note. Yeah. But that's how he ended up raising children like my sister and I. My sister, who one time we went to like a nice tea and they were like, oh, we've got edible flowers. And she was like, oh, awesome. Ate one and was like, oh my God, these are really good. And like pretended to eat more. And she was like, you guys should try them. And I was like, I'm good. She was like, no, they're amazing. They're so good. I can't stop eating them.
I don't trust this at all already because I consider the source. You know what I'm saying?
It was the worst thing I'd ever eaten. It was so, I was like, oh, and she was like, ha, 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 ha. I got you to eat it. I was like, you had to eat 3 of them to get me to eat 1. And she was like, worth it.
100%. I would have done that too. Like, that's just sibling shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, don't slap me with cheese. But her sister, who was the one who suggested getting rid of the mirror. I think that's why this is what happens to her sister.
Yes.
She starts to barf and then it's blood barf, but it's like if SNL had someone barfing in a sketch where it's just like spray.
Yeah, it's like when Bowen Yang yelled hose when he was dressed as the baby hippopotamus.
His Moodang.
Yeah,
yes.
his Moodang. Like, it looks like that, except she'd be off screen throwing up that direction. But yeah, it's like, it's projectile vomit. Like Team America. You know what I'm saying? It's like that level.
Yes.
And it ends up just being like the worst Criss Angel magic trick ever. Like, is this your broken glass from your mirror?
Right.
Like, it's like that kind of reveal. I was like, okay, all right, Copperfield, well done.
But it's that plus like a substance blood cannon because she just goes,
yeah,
and gets like half the people in the room with just like a stream of blood.
And the dad was like, hey, don't throw a blood on me. Just like he was said about cheese.
You got blood on the cheese. I couldn't stop laughing at it. I was like, this is hilariously badly done. Like, it's goofy. But yeah, she's got shards of the mirror. And they're like, get her to the hospital. Do we ever address this again? No.
Well, but like, for reasons, I used to work at a restaurant. Mm-hmm. If you drink glass, it can be bad. Like,
yes,
that happened one night. Someone was a little too drunk in our bar and they didn't realize that they had broken their glass on something and they took a drink of it and drank some glass. And it was a bad night. The guy ended up being fine. He was fine.
Sure.
But he was in a lot of pain for the honestly, 25 minutes it took for the paramedics to come and take her to the hospital. Yeah. But it was like that level of event. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like, you do have to go to the hospital. Don't drink glass.
Well, and they take her to the hospital, but we never go to the hospital. We never see anything about it. The next time we see her, roughly 30 to 40 minutes later, she's just fine at the house. Like nothing. And that's something that like previous Conjuring movies are a lot better about, is like something bad happens to somebody, but then you show the come down.
Right.
And then we address what happens. This movie shows like the beginning of hauntings and then just leaves them untied for like the rest of the movie. And this is one of them where I'm like, this could have potentially required surgery.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? And we never talk about it again. Never once. We just cut to Ed's appointment with his cardiologist.
Yo, when he goes to the doctor in the 80s and it was like, obviously there's a concern about his health, I was like, oh my God, are they going to do the funniest thing ever and be like, well, Ed, are you familiar with autoimmune efficiency disorder? It's relatively new. Have you been to any clubs in New York recently or shot up? And I was like, oh my God, are they going to? But no, it's just like regular heart issues because he is supposed to be, I think, like 50 years old or 55 years old. And he looks like Patrick Wilson does.
Right.
But like, if you see a picture of what Ed looked like at this time, you would also be concerned about his heart. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah. He looks like Tweedledee and or Tweedledum in real life.
Yeah.
And I mean that from a bone structure perspective. That like no moral judgment on it, but that is what he looks like. And they show pictures of him, thankfully, at the end of this movie that like they don't usually do that. But this one they finally did. And I was like, good. Can you show those pictures next to ones of Patrick Wilson? But we know from the last movie, because he was having heart attacks in the last movie.
Yeah.
And that's why he like carries aspirin. He carries some Pirin tablets with him because of the heart attacks. But I do love the 80s of the like, what the hell's an egg white?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fish. All right. But we cut to his birthday party where they are just making burgers.
Yep. It's his birthday. He's going to get what he wants on his birthday. He's actually not going to get what he wants on his birthday because his daughter gets engaged to someone she's only known for 6 months. And it's clear he's not like thrilled about that, but we'll get there.
He's not jazzed.
Yeah.
We'll get there. But she brings Tony in, and Ed's being, I just have in my notes, Ed's being one of those dads.
Yeah.
Of just like, yeah, don't touch anything in this room. It's dangerous. Got it? You should take care of my daughter. And you're like, okay, all right.
Well, it's clear that Tony's a real seance Romeo. You know what I'm saying? So he's like,
right.
I mean, he's as much interested in me and my wife as he is our daughter. So like,
right.
Yeah.
But soft, what light through yonder tough shed breaks? It is Annabelle, and she is the sun. And like, he's full in it. And I think Ed can smell it on him. He's like, I can smell the ectoplasm from the ghost that you want to see.
Yeah.
But he also, Tony like is meeting, like, because he meets Father Gordon and other people at the barbecue, including a guy named Brad Hamilton, who's like, got this scar. Girl almost bit my neck off. And I was like, is this something we saw in a previous Conjuring? I don't super remember that.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't remember.
If Ed ripped his shirt off and started pointing out hilarious ghost scars, I feel like it could only improve the film.
That would be amazing.
Anyway, we cut to Judy and she's looking at slides in her room, and then Annabelle's in the corner. And they just do like so many close-ups on Annabelle. And I'm like, they were really counting on this to be scary. And it's just not. Like, we've seen Annabelle. We know who she is. My thing with Annabelle is Annabelle never directly does anything. She's just kind of like sitting there, and then bad things happen around her.
Eventually she does stand up and she grows to be like kind of a big size and chase after them. But yeah.
Yeah, but that is where some of this stuff is, and that's later, but like.
Yeah, that's later, way later in the movie. Yeah.
Way later in the movie, but they do that in 2, and I think it's one of the weakest parts of 2. Anytime they have something grow gigantic, it's just not, it goes outside the realm of normal real world fear and dread to be goofy.
Yeah,
for me.
I get it. I mean, largely because there's no like causality to why it would be growing big.
Right,
like, if you told me that John Wayne after that movie grew big, I'd be like, of course, because the radiation.
Correct, exactly, because of the soil.
Just like Godzilla did.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm out here in Bikini Atoll. Yeah. I'm gonna shout radiation into the sky. Sorry.
I love in the movie that they show like his hat charge up and get that bright blue color, and then when he spits out the radiation, it goes back to like its normal color.
I was just picturing him leaning back and shouting radiation into the sky. And I'm sorry, John Wayne shouting radiation into the sky might be the funniest thing I've pictured today. And I pictured Judy singing Yin Yang Twins.
Paige, the scene in -1 where it is following them in the water and you're just like seeing its face follow the boat or whatever. Just replace that with like a big ass John Wayne. Like that would be the best, but not swimming, still swimming like Godzilla is. So it's all face, no arms. You know what I'm saying? Calling everyone on the boat pilgrims. It's like, clearly we're not pilgrims. We're on a boat.
The Mayflower. Just sidewalking his way through Tokyo. I'm sorry. I love it. Make John Wayne Godzilla. But anyway, Lorraine smells the ghost over her right shoulder again. But here's the craziest part, because Tony will eventually go up into the room and kind of talk Judy down. And Lorraine is kind of going to follow up there to then kind of interrupt them. But my favorite is that after she kind of interrupts them, they kind of disperse in the party, and the party starts playing David Bowie. And I was like,
yeah, it does.
I'm sorry. Do you think the church's anti-occult warriors would be playing, checks notes, David Bowie? No.
At most, it would be Petra. You know?
Yeah, right. I was like, what are we doing? You noted warlock David Bowie?
Right?
Oh, David Bowie. Like, come on, what are we doing? And then they play ping pong.
Yes. That literally almost kills Ed.
Yes, Ed is playing ping pong for dominance, and that's where his hubris got him in trouble.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Your heart can't take it anymore, Ed.
Yeah, it's ping ponging around in your chest. But then Tony basically, like, Judy leaves to go get drinks. Tony takes the moment to ask Ed and Lorraine for her hand in marriage. There's this long speech about like, are you guys ready? Well, we were young, but we knew.
Yeah, Lorraine is on board. She says the whole, like, we were young too. He was shipping off. We got married. We just kind of knew, It's like, it actually is a very kind of sweet and also like, this is a lot like how we fell in love. So of course we're okay with this. And when she says, of course it's okay for you to ask our daughter to marry you or whatever, Ed looks at her like, hang on a second.
Hang on now.
I don't know that you could say we're happy or whatever, but let me say my piece. And he's kind of overprotective. I would call him a little bit of a dick here, but like I understand his motivations and I don't necessarily disagree. They've only known each other 6 months and that dude's a real seance Romeo. So like I think he might not have the best intentions.
The second you said overprotected, I just pictured Judy whisper singing, "'Cause my life has been so overprotected." And anyway, yes, he's not on board. But this scene between the like slides with the Annabelle thing and the ping pong and their whole retelling of their love story and dialogue, at this point, from the girl barfing glass,
right?
One of the most interesting things we've seen in the movie at this point, 30 minutes. We've been sitting through Ed and Lorraine party, long conversation, exposition dumps.
Yep.
For 30 fucking minutes.
They've got to set up the people who are going to take over the franchise, Paige. And that is the ex-cop, red flag, who wants to marry your daughter, unemployed ex-cop, which is arguably not worse. But I actually do, I'm kind of grateful they give us an in-world reason for him not being a cop anymore that isn't just like ambiguous.
Right.
Because if you're going to live within the world of the movie, which I like to do when we critique them, I kind of like that that's the reason he stopped being a cop. He was like, I want to be around to experience having a wife, having a kid, or a family or whatever. And so like I quit the next day because.
Right. Well, that's much later, but yes.
Yeah, but I like that because if you normally are just like, oh yeah, I got fired from being a cop, like that's terrifying to hear.
It is because there are almost no good reasons to have been a former cop young. Right?
But they do have a great one in this movie and I'm glad they give it to us, honestly.
Yeah. Because my immediate assumption went to Reginald Val Johnson's descriptor from
Die Hard.
Yes. Where he's like, I accidentally shot a kid. Like that was my first thought.
Yeah.
Anyway, she walks in while he's got the ring out, and because he's got it out, he proposes right there, and Ed's like,
He actually like fumbles with it, knocks it over, the ring comes out of the ring box, and he gets down on one knee to pick it up, and she's just standing there. And even though Ed just said, no, you can't marry my daughter yet, it wasn't a no, not ever. It was like, it's too soon. And they were like haggling over how long he had to wait. He like looks up at Ed while he's on his knee about to propose, and Ed gives him the old like, all right, you're already down there. Just go ahead and get married. Like I thought it was such a crazy way to do that.
It is crazy. But this is also where we see Pastor Gordon.
Yeah.
Or Father Gordon, I'm sorry. Father Gordon. And Father Gordon's like, hey, we got calls for investigations. There's the ghost businesses. Boom.
He's like, you've heard of the satanic panic that you guys helped start, right? It's really in full effect. We got to get you back out on the circuit, guys.
Look, I don't know what to tell you, but there's a real monster mash going on down the street. Anyway, so they're like, our ghost hunting days are behind us now. And he's like, well, it was worth a try. We then cut back to the Smurl house after being away for like 30 whole minutes.
Yes.
And the girl that we just saw vomiting blood because she had glass in her throat is like, so we're just going to live in a haunted house? And I was like, how are you not in the hospital? Like how much time has passed? What is going on?
I got that this is like, she just got back from the hospital. It's been a week or whatever, like there must have been some passage of time because she is not at all injured. And I kind of figure she would be, but she is also yelling at her dad like, this house is clearly haunted. What are you going to do about it? And I was like, I get that they're poor and they can't like have 8 people at a hotel. So like, what are our options? Like learn how to punch in Latin. It's a demon.
Right.
Like there's not much your dad can do.
Right.
Like I just kind of felt bad for the dad in that scenario, but I do think I would call anyone I can and be like, hey, my house is on fire in 10 minutes. And so like, we need a place to stay. Is that cool? You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
If it was me, I'd be like, yeah, you're right. Hey, everybody, you have 4 minutes to grab everything from this house you love. Cause in 5 minutes, I'm setting it on fire and we're leaving. Like that is probably what I do. But like, as we know from past movies, that doesn't stop a demon.
No.
So it wouldn't have helped. So I guess the dad just needs to learn how to like punch in Latin.
Yeah, of course. It only works if you punch in Latin. But the dad can't do anything. So we cut to the bedroom where he's in bed and he sees this like creepy lady face at the foot of the bed. And then he's like choking and levitating and she's climbing on top of him because save a horse, ride a floating guy.
As much as I don't like Big and Rich, that was a good pull.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Downstairs, one of the older girls turns on the TV and is re-watching the video from her confirmation where somebody blew out her candle and she sees a face, like an evil face in the TV.
Yeah.
And the proportions of it are so bonkers.
I do love that they nail how frustrating it was to try and pause a VHS tape on the exact right frame.
Right.
I was like, oh man, yeah, this is how difficult that would have been at this time.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep. But as she kind of like, and it seems like because it's cycling through, it looks like it's pointing up into the ceiling.
And those the things that look like their eyes staring down at her, that scared me, man. It got me.
But so then she kind of like backs up into the room and kind of looks around because a car pulls in and the lights kind of shine through the windows. And as she looks, we see a dark corner. And they wait too long to do it because the corner is dark and you're like, hereditary corner run. That's what's going to happen.
Well, you also see an axe on the couch. So I was like, holy axe, man, because he does come out of the corner, kind of like Hereditary does with that naked man misdirect jump scare. It's not quite as effective, though, but it still got me. But because he like grabs the axe and starts attacking her. Right,
but part of the problem of why it's not as effective, and I noticed it in the moment watching it, the reason it's effective in Hereditary, the corner is dark. Toni Collette's in the corner.
Yeah.
We don't know that yet, but she's in the corner. But the corner is not the focal point of the shot. We're focused on her, on the son in the foreground, investigating where the husband has been burned to death and the book is in the fire. Like, there's so much story stuff going on in the foreground. We don't even think to look in the background.
And it comes out of the soft focus of the background. That's why it scared the shit out of me. I just did not expect it.
Yeah. And then she comes fucking tearing out of that corner, right? Screaming, right?
Yeah.
This one, they do it wrong because the focus is on the corner. So you're like, I know there's something in that corner.
They show you where it's going to come out of. But it still got me. Like, I just don't do well with jump scares, and this is a jump scare.
But then they left the focus on the corner for too long. It was like 3 seconds before the guy runs out of it. And I'm like, we know.
Yeah.
We know you have ruined your own surprise, essentially.
They kind of telegraph it. Yeah. It still got me, though, because I'm terrible with this kind of stuff. But yeah, they do telegraph it.
But yeah, this guy runs out with an axe, tries to kill her. It's like a whole thing. But then I'm like, who's axe guy? Because at no point, and we are over an hour into the movie, there has been no established lore
of the haunting.
For the haunting.
Yeah, we do eventually get it. And the axe guy is one of the 3, like, ghosts or whatever.
But it's the ghosts that are masking the demon. But that's the thing every time in a Conjuring movie. Like every time. That's also the thing at Enfield, right?
Yeah. But the mom wakes up, she sees her husband floating above her and like...
So this was something, and tell me if I am crazy. We both sleep in beds with our partners.
Yeah.
If Jake had been choking and then hovering above the bed, I'd notice that.
Well, she was asleep. I mean...
I would wake up.
But yeah, when she woke up, she jumped into action immediately. Yeah, I mean, I think because they're trying to show you what's going on simultaneously.
Right.
They're showing us... It seems like it's a lot longer that he's floating and choking than I think he really is in real life, you know, because I think that's actually happening at the same time the girl's being attacked. So it seems like he's floating, choking for like 3 minutes when it's really probably like 30 seconds. Yeah.
Right.
But she does wake up eventually and like pull him. I think actually just her shouting his name releases him and he hits the bed. And then she like shakes him and is like, the girls or whatever, and then he's struggling to come back because whatever was going on with him, and she goes and sees the girl.
They do not do a good job of showing him recover at all.
No, I mean, because she runs out almost immediately because she does ask him to go more or less, and then she's like, you clearly can't, I'll go.
Yeah, you clearly can't, but like, it does make it seem like he's been floating and here was the other part. So when he started floating, because we saw that.
Yes, we did.
She wasn't in the bed that we could see.
Wait, what? I thought she was asleep next to him.
The movie wants you to think that, and I think they intended for that to be the case.
Okay.
But the way that the shots are framed, you cannot see her. and you didn't see her walk into the room. He walked into the room alone and laid down, but we never saw who was next. So like there was no establishment that she was in the bed.
Yeah.
So when she wakes up, I was like, she's been there the whole time and like didn't notice this or whatever.
I guess he sleeps on top of the covers, which fine, but like.
Right. Fine. But like, so I was like, this is bonkers. But then she shouts and she's like trying to pull him down. She doesn't really ever successfully get him down. She runs out of the room and then he kind of falls.
Yeah, he eventually lands back in the bed, and then he does follow her out into the hallway, although we don't see him like come to again, you know? Because when he comes out there, she's already with the daughter and turned on the lights in that room, and there's no one there with an axe, but we did see the daughter getting kind of chased around the room by the guy with the axe.
We did, but so we see her run out and she's going to take care of the daughter. We never see him run and follow her. He just is in the room by the time she gets down there.
Well, no, I think he comes behind her, doesn't he?
No.
I only saw it the one time, so I don't know. I can't fully remember, but.
The only reason, because I kept rewinding it being like, what the fuck is happening? Like, what is the layout of what is happening?
If you watched it more than once, I'm sure you're right, because I only saw it the one time through, and so yeah, okay.
The only reason because it made me laugh so hard, because she goes running out of the room. He is maybe recovering from being floating, but we never really resolve it. Everyone kind of gathers in the room and he's like, guys, we gotta go. And I was like, wait, when did he come to and how did he get downstairs?
The mom actually says, like, everyone's safe, but like something very scary happened, obviously, to both of them.
Right.
And so like the mom looks at the husband and says more or less, like, I don't care if you have to start giving mustache rides, but we can't live like this.
Right.
Instead of like picking up some money in the world's oldest profession, they decide to do it in the world's second oldest profession, lying about the supernatural.
Correct. We do get a news montage.
Yes, of them going to the media.
For literally 30 seconds.
Yeah.
That's it. And then, nope, we got to go spend 15 minutes on Judy picking out a wedding dress.
Paige, I was shocked because of what happens in the scene that's about to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I was shocked when they reveal the dress at the end and it wasn't like a mini skirt. Because if you had the kind of trauma that she experiences in this next scene, you would never wear a billowy skirt again.
Never a train, for sure.
No, and
I know it's the late 80s, but she looks like a haunted Victorian doll.
But like more or less, one of the ghosts goes with her to this and like gets under her dress and is under her dress.
Right.
It would have made more sense if at the end it was revealed that she was getting married in a pantsuit. Like I cannot accept that after that she was like, you know what, I'm going to roll the dice on a billowy dress again, because how often can that happen?
Right? Well, and this is the point at which I started to get frustrated with the amount of time on screen that we were given the Warrens versus the actual haunting.
Yeah.
Because, like, the Warrens aren't aware of the haunting that's happening. They haven't visited the family.
It's almost positioned like the family went to the media hoping to get a message through to the Warrens.
Yes.
So that they could come and help. And they're kind of annoyed by the media circus they very clearly created.
Right. But what I mean to say about it is, like, they're completely separate storyline tracks. They are not connected at all, except for the fact that they seem to be haunted by the same people. And there's no explanation for that until the last 10 minutes of the movie,
right?
Basically. And so it's almost like instead of fleshing out an actual haunting story around a case, they just Control F insert ghost through a whole bunch of just the Warrens at home planning a wedding.
Yeah.
And it makes it so that the movie, at least for me, is not as scary, because I just kept questioning. I'm like, why is this where we're spending our time, essentially? Because this section with the wedding dress, which is admittedly visually a very cool scare.
It's scary. I mean, even the mirror stuff is kind of scary.
Yeah, she's in a mirrored room. You know, a ghost climbs out from under her dress, and then the lights go out and she's screaming and she's singing quietly to herself.
'Cause you know that you're toxic.
All I want to do is have some fun. I got a feeling. Right? Then the lights come back on. You're like, oh, it's over, because that's usually when a haunting is over in one of these movies. And then you get the really cool, like, tap, 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 punch through the mirror.
Choke.
She's getting choked.
So scary.
She wakes up. Lorraine is there. Everything's fine. But we have just spent 15 minutes on a ghost that technically kind of means nothing to us as the audience at this point. Now, if you were watching this on a rewatch, you'll know that apparently the ghost, that the demon functions through mirrors, ? So you should basically be afraid of every mirror, ?
Yeah, every mirror is a portal, Paige.
Yeah, exactly.
It leads to this demon. I'm not even joking.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I think because she's standing in front of a mirror and it can see, I guess, all mirrors, it knows,
Right.
oh, hey, that's the fetus I tried to kill. That's like the one that got away, you know?
Right,
And
right.
so I'm going to go do the latest like post-birth abortion ever
Right.
and handle this.
Right. Meanwhile, Father Gordon has now finally gotten to the Smurls
Yes.
based on the media. And is it grandma that's going away in the ambulance?
I think it
they
is.
never explain.
I think it is because the dad who was like, was previously joking about being accosted with cheese is now like asking the media to like, hey, do you mind not taking photos of my mom getting wheeled into the ambulance more or less?
Right.
And so it shows them being annoyed at the paparazzi more or less that are outside their house because of the media circus around. I mean, we see them on like Larry King Live and shit like that. Like they are doing the media that causes the circus, but that's them establishing that they don't like the media circus.
Right. But Father Gordon's like, hey, the church doesn't know I'm here, but I want to check this out because of the media. And we get a really cool scene in the basement where he's like sprinkling holy water and it's like evaporating.
Yeah.
And like into like steam, which super cool. Love that as like a touch point of like, oh, some shit is going bad here.
Yeah.
That should be in Act 1.
Right.
That should have been the end of Act 1 of like, and now the Warrens come in. Like,
but the problem is they have to set up Shia LaBeouf as the new Indiana Jones. Like it literally is that same sort of problem where you're like having to establish a character or characters in this movie's case that you're hoping will continue the franchise.
Right.
When you don't really need that for the story. So it kind of feels like extra bulk,
Yeah. Extra bulk and I'm not trying to shit on the actors in this movie. They're doing a great job with what they have.
I think they're all doing fine. Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. Yeah, no complaints at all.
No complaints. They didn't pick names. You're going to have to bank on the fact that people will go because it's air quotes a Conjuring movie, but it's not Ed and Lorraine anymore.
Right. It's Tony and Judy.
It's Tony and Judy who don't have the same background. They just own the museum and whatever. And so there's a part of me that's like, unless you're going to jump it into the future and cast Josh Brolin or something like that, which I'd watch that.
Of course you would. Yeah.
Like, but imagine him with Annabelle killing that guy and he's trying to solve that guy's murder. Come on.
I would watch that.
I'd watch it, right? Here for it.
As long as we also get the retcon that Tony, when he was a cop, was a homicide detective.
Yes. And I don't think that's what's true in real life, but I'll take it.
I don't care. There's so much untrue about the quote true stories that happen in these movies. We could have fun with that.
I think even if with quote unquote setting them up to be the next ones, you have to go in such a different direction for it to be watchable and not bomb. I don't think that what they've established in this movie has set them up for a truly successful sequel with a new duo.
Oh, fair.
I think they think it has.
Yeah.
But I don't think it has.
But I would love, no joke, like, especially if it was like not quote based on a true story. We just get to have fun with the fun story. If it was like an ex-police detective whose wife is a seance girly and can like do seances and can see the dead or whatever, and they've got to solve these like hauntings. Love that premise for a movie. Would watch 10 of those if they weren't scary.
But they are.
I know.
Anyway, so Father Gordon's like, hey, I'm getting the fuck out of here. And they're like, are you going to help us? He's like, yeah, definitely. Bye.
I'm going to go tell my boss about it. Yeah.
Right.
Are you familiar with chess? It's not the rook. It's the bishop. I'm going to go see the bishop. Yeah.
He goes to the local diocese,
Yeah.
I believe is what this office is. And he tries to get an appointment. They're like, wait here. But then.
Yeah, he doesn't have an appointment, but I think because he is also a fellow member of the clergy, although not from Pennsylvania.
Right.
He's from like, I think Connecticut. But
yeah.
They're like, we can squeeze you in. Let me have a seat. I'll call and we'll figure it out. Right. And then we see the guy who's like buffing the floor go down the hallway. And then like they sit down and the secretary disappears. And then we see the cord doing the loop as it pulls. And like every time it like pulls the noose a little bit more. It's really well done, honestly. It builds the dread. And then we see these like, oh no, we hear the phone rings.
And it's Judy.
Right.
Or it's impersonating Judy.
Yes, the demon clearly is impersonating Judy, yeah. But I thought it was wild that Father Gordon would answer the phone at all. Like, I don't work here, bro. Like, this is not my office. I'm not going to answer that phone.
And also, the secretary just disappeared and I didn't see or hear her walk out of the room. I am in a dream scenario. None of this is real.
Right.
Clearly.
Yeah, but then you see like and you hear like the bishop will see you now or whatever, and you see the doorknobs that have like the beautiful ornate like brass like cross on them. Like if you're wondering where your tithing is going, that's where it's going. And then he like turns it from the other side, so it turns the cross upside down. And then I was like, oh yeah, that would be an incredibly heretical type of doorknob to have at a diocese, right?
Yes, because every time you turn it, it's upside down.
Exactly.
Unless you're doing it as a tribute to one of the apostles who was crucified upside down.
Well, I mean, that's why the upside down cross is the scary version, because of that story.
Right.
Yeah.
But like, all I kept thinking was, because these movies always have to have upside down crosses. That's like
They do.
a hallmark of the Conjuring movie, and we hadn't had one in this movie yet. And so when it finally happened, I was like, oh, they got it in.
They did. They figured it out.
They got it in.
Was it Peter or Paul that was crucified upside? Oh, no, it was Ringo. My bad.
It was Ringo. It was definitely, I think it is actually Peter who is often referred to as the first pope, even that's not entirely accurate because that structure was not present yet. But in theory, Peter, they believe him to be the, kind of father of the modern Catholic Church.
Yes.
So,
but it was him.
I think so.
Yeah, I think it was.
I would have to double check.
Yeah.
Could have been Ringo. But then Father Gordon has a crucifix and it catches on fire. And in my notes, I just have, oh shit, the Klan. The worst villain.
Oh, I was not expecting that. I love this scene a little bit because clearly the door busts open. It's the demon, although we can't really see it. And he gets up and holds the cross and is like, hey, listen, I'm putting on the armor of God or whatever, which means the demon can't touch him.
Right.
So Paige,
yes.
What do you think the demon said to him that made him go do what he does at the end of this scene? Because I got a pitch for you. The demon comes in with just the screenplay for the future movie, The Spotlight, and puts that down and makes him read it. And then he's like, oh, my whole life is kind of a lie and I'm protecting something I should not be protecting. And so he just gets so sad, he takes his life.
He jumps.
I clearly think the demon possesses him and makes him do this. It's not at all. I'm joking, obviously.
I mean, it is 1986, so my other thought was just like...
He heard Appetite for Destruction for the first time, and he's like, no, the Lord cannot win against this kind of evil. It's just too good.
He just whispered in his ear, play this Judas Priest album.
Is that a flute?
This is real Satanic Panic style.
Yeah.
Anyway, he does unfortunately hang.
Yeah, he welcomes to the jungle. Like he just jumps and like wraps the cord around his neck and he dies. Yeah, it's real sad. I feel bad for Father Gordon. Like all this guy was trying to do was get a family help that needed it. Especially if like you're looking at the world of that the movie takes place in. He is very much a victim. But like there are some funny things that happen around it that I couldn't help but point out.
Yes. Meanwhile, Ed and Tony are fixing a motorcycle, and Ed's like, you seem all right because you know what spark plugs are. Come look at our haunted museum.
I love that, like, Tony, who is probably, I don't know, 25 maybe? Like, he's positioned as like a young adult, right? Is telling...
Tony.
He's telling Ed Warren, like, yeah, you just like want to make sure the spark plug sparks and then you're good.
Right.
Like that's a revolutionary thought that Ed didn't know. Yeah, it's called a spark plug, you moron. Like, I don't know. It just made me laugh so hard that Ed immediately wasn't like, okay, you cannot marry my daughter. Like, I can't, that's like the dumbest sentence anyone's ever said with authority.
I just had you were absolutely right. I just had a real dumb thought. Just like we replaced Judy with Judy Gemstone.
Okay.
We replaced Tony with Tony Soprano. And that's our couple.
I mean, probably would have been more accurate to what Tony actually looks like today, although I don't know.
A little bit.
Again, just basing that on the region of America they come from. I've never seen a picture of Tony.
I'm just picturing him like just destroying a plate of gabagool and being like, you gotta pick the real like lean slices.
Paige, that's why he's so good at busting demons. He can just like destroy a bunch of gabagool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The gabagools are some of the scariest.
Emphasis on the ghoul.
Exactly.
But I do want to spend a moment talking about some of the things we see in their stupid haunted museum.
Okay.
In the movie. In the ones that are in the movie, in the world of the film.
Right. We see Maria about to go to the dance where she meets Tony for the first time.
Of course.
Because that's the Annabelle doll.
Right. A haunted sewing machine.
Paige, if we do eventually get that story, it'll be a prequel because obviously it happened before this one. But like, they really make that sewing machine sing. Like, it confesses everything. It becomes like a singer for the demonic.
And a brother to the devil.
I was just trying to get to singer, which used to make really good sewing machines from what I understand.
They still do.
I don't know. I honestly do not know. I've seen a bunch of old antique singer sewing stuff. Yeah.
As someone who owns 5 different sewing machines, 3 of them are singers. Anyway, I think that might be the sewing machine from the Annabelle, the one that was in like vintage with the girl from Malignant, where she's like expecting a baby and that's why they bought Annabelle. But then she like loses the baby and it's like a whole thing. And she's like sewing on the sewing machine.
I remember vaguely what you're talking about. Yeah, but I don't remember the specifics around it.
But yeah, there's a scene where she like sews over her finger. So I wondered if that was that sewing machine.
You know how they know that sewing machine was evil though, Paige?
Why?
It could only sew pasties and negligees. Like it was, it could only do sexy stuff. And it was like, no, this is evil. No.
It only back stitches. Satan. Oh, no, it only shows satin.
Oh, my God. Paige, 100%. It's satin pasties and negligees.
Also in this room is a taxidermy deer. And Ed says everything in this room is either haunted, cursed, or was used in some sort of ritual. And I'm guessing you could have sacrificed a deer and then taxidermied it, I guess.
Paige, that actually happens in the third movie. You just don't, it happens off screen. Like as the Warrens are traveling to do the exorcism in that movie, they hit a deer. And they're like, well, we got to use everything we kill. So we're going to stuff it and put it in the garage. I mean, the museum. The museum.
We consider this drive to be a ritual.
Exactly.
We had RFK Jr. assisting us on that one. But then there's also a full set of samurai armor.
That's from when the Warrens went to Japan and fought a samurai shogun ghost demon.
Give me that stupid movie.
Paige, you say that, but just like I can't wait to watch the Predator movie that takes place in feudal Japan, I would watch a Warren movie go to 1965 Japan right after Judy is born.
Right.
And solve a case. I would watch that. I loved Tokyo Vice. I'm imagining it's going to be very similar in style and tone.
Sure. I'm thinking more of like a Kill Bill vibe where the Warrens come in and have to defeat like 88 Yakuza ghosts or something like that.
It's just like Lorraine Warren spitting with a ghost katana, like killing people.
Yeah.
I'd watch that.
They're confronting the ghost in the snow. Like, yes.
Love it.
Anyway, as he's like walking him around the museum, he's like, we almost lost Judy. She was, born stillborn, but then she, lived. And he's basically like, as he's kind of walking him through it, they get the news about Father Gordon's funeral.
Yeah.
And Judy senses something, but like, we don't see anything about it. She's just like, wait, where was he? Or whatever.
She asks, yeah. And he was like, I don't know. He's in like Pennsylvania, but God knows why, I think is what the guy says.
Yeah.
But that's where she goes. Like, I think we see Judy at the funeral, which we're like about to get to. And then she's gone because she goes to Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Because we're at the funeral and Father Gordon's, I think, like boss or like fellow church guy is like, y'all are famous in certain parts of the church. Well, infamous. And I was like, the infamous?
I know. That's more than famous, Paige, to continue the Spies Like Us bit we're doing. It's so famous, they're infamous. It's one of my favorite Martin Short deliveries ever.
The infamous?
Yes.
Anyway, we cut away from the funeral and we go back to Ed and Lorraine's house where we have a garbage disposal freak out for no reason. It relates to fucking nothing.
Sometimes your sink gets its period, Paige.
Sometimes your sink gets its period. All this serves is for Lorraine to have a horrifying experience with a locket that we've seen her with earlier, and blood goes all over the kitchen, but then Ed comes in and it's all in her head. She just goes, something is wrong with Judy. And so Tony immediately shows up because I guess he could sense it too. And they're like, Tony, where is she? And he's like, Pennsylvania. So they go to Pennsylvania where they immediately find the Smurl house. They don't even research to find out if that's where she went, they just assume. They go to the Smurl house. There's cops in a crowd who immediately let the Warrens in because they're famous.
Right.
Which is actually kind of true to history, is that's how they got into a lot of places, because they would purport to have solved all these hauntings that other people were working on. And so they were famous. And so cops would like let them into crime scenes and shit.
Well, and the family, because the cops aren't here at this moment, but the family's like, oh, thank God, we were trying to get a hold of you.
Yeah.
The cops are there for the paparazzi.
They're not inside.
Yeah. They're not there because a crime was committed or anything, you know?
Right.
So like, I don't, and the family clearly is okay with the Warrens being there. So like, there's the cops don't have any say at that point.
Right.
But the guy, like the dad is like, come on in, let's do this. People I've never met. This is great.
Yeah. And Judy is there, which like, Judy's not famous, so I don't know why they just let Judy in if she just showed up and was like, Ed and Lorraine are my parents, let me in.
No joke. I think that's what she does. And I do think that
I think that's what she did.
I think that she'd be able to get in with that story, even if all of this is made up. You know what I'm saying? Like having her there would help them make money off of this.
Yes. But they ask her, she's like, well, this is the last place Father Gordon was before he died. And I had a vision of him dying. And that's why I'm here. And she's like, oh, but my vision was different. I was like, we didn't see your vision. That was not on the screen.
Right.
This is not information we as the audience have. I feel like that's a key omission because what it should have been was we should have seen her having a vision and then trying to call Father Gordon, you know, somehow or whatever. And that's the phone call he gets, but it says something different. But like, we have none of that. None of it.
No.
Right? None. But then she's like, something else wants me to be here. And Lorraine smells a ghost. But she then goes walking around the house and they have the little like carousel toy, which I think was from Conjuring 2.
I don't know if I've seen this before. It might have been, but they had a very similar mechanic in 2 because that one also had like a music box and so does this.
Well, and that one had a zoetrope in 2.
And this is more of like, I guess you might call this one, but it's like casting it on the wall.
Right.
Because it's like a lighted tube that like horses are on the outside of and spins to the music.
Right.
So I guess if you were in a dark room, it would project the horses on the walls around you, right?
Right.
So it is very similar, but it's like we're inside the thing from 2.
Right. We cut to Ed making pancakes. And basically Tony's like, is this always part of it? The pancakes? And he's like, sometimes people just need to like settle down and eat and not be as scared. And the pancakes help. And sometimes it's waffles.
Yeah, he's like, sometimes it's pancakes, but if we're at a classy joint, you know, with people who care about culinary stuff, it's definitely going to be waffles. No one's going to lower themselves to eat pancakes.
Right.
But these people are like, you know, pancakes are enough. You know what I'm saying?
They're pancake people.
Yeah.
I personally am a waffle person. No disrespect to the pancake people.
I am too. I don't really think pancake people are bad, but I do think it's funny to play up the rift between the pancaked and the waffled.
I feel like people forget within the rift between pancakes and waffles, the corn cake option or hoe cake option, which I find superior to pancakes.
They are delicious.
Anyway, Tony now tells Ed why he's not a cop. And essentially, he got called on a domestic violence call. He showed up. The guy opened the door with a shotgun and pulled the trigger, but it didn't fire.
Yeah, everyone heard the click too, because when they do eventually subdue the guy who has tried to shoot Tony in the face, his partner does go get the shotgun and see that like not only did everyone actually hear the click, it actually hit the shell of the shotgun bullet, right? Or it's probably like birdshot or whatever.
Right.
But it would have killed him. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just a misfired shell. And so he literally dodged a bullet or probably 20 small bullets.
Right.
And because of that, he has like a come to Jesus moment with himself and is like, maybe this is not the line of work I want because I want a future, I want a wife, I want kids.
I want a ghost to kill me.
Exactly. But like I think it's clear he's already dating Judy because this is the moment where he goes out and buys a ring. But I think it also is what he's like, okay, I'm ready to get married. I'm ready to start a family. I'm ready to have a job that doesn't want to kill me every day. Let's start fighting demons.
Right. They'll never kill me.
I just think saying that a guy who left a job because he almost got shot by a human would not go to a job where he believed he was in more danger.
Right. But at this point, I checked the time on the movie and I was like, how is there 46 minutes left?
Because we got to speed run the haunting page, which is what we're like
100%.
Ed and Lorraine are not even there yet, guys. It's just Judy.
No. Ed and Lorraine have just arrived.
That's right. They just got there.
Yeah.
But like they haven't investigated anything yet.
Nothing.
Although we do see them speed running it through like montage or whatever. And it's really, I guess it's Lorraine who's doing the investigating. Ed is there to make pancakes. But we see her like checking out the mattress and like something's in the mattress. And then we see the not quite as good as Gladys from Weapons jump scare lady, right?
We see John Wayne again.
Yes, yeah.
But Lorraine, and literally we get a montage of like 2 minutes of that. That's how little time this movie is spending on the haunting, like the actual story part.
Yeah. And if I remember correctly from this actual case, a mattress was part of it.
Yes.
But I think it was a jumping mattress. It was like,
yes.
It was like
yes.
that
yes.
kind of a thing. Not like it was haunted by a ghost, but it was like a mattress jumping bean kind of scenario.
Yes,
and I kind of wish we had gotten that version.
Honestly, like the Smurl case is actually a really weirdly interesting case because a lot of people believe that the reason it happened and the reason they went to the media is that they were trying to get out of the housing they were in, but couldn't really afford to break their lease. And this was them trying to like break the lease. But there are a lot of like weird details, like the mattress and a few other things that kind of lend itself to like, hey, maybe something did happen, but like the timing is weird or whatever. But we don't get any of that in this movie.
Nope.
And like, unlike 2, which I do think is one of the best Conjuring movies, 2, we get so much of the Enfield case. And this, we just don't get all that much.
Yeah.
It's kind of a bummer. So after speed running the haunting, we get Lorraine on the porch talking to Ed. And she's like, there's 3 ghosts, a woman who's having an affair, and then her mom, and then the guy she was having an affair with, and she and her mom went to the basement and he killed them. That's it.
Right.
Most simplified haunting story ever. But then she's like, but they're hiding something bigger, like the demon is hiding behind them. Which again, if you have seen any Conjuring movies, that's always the thing.
Mm-hmm.
It is always some demon hiding behind ghosts. So we're not surprised.
We're not, but it always scares me. Like it's always the thing and it always works to scare me. So like I get it.
Potentially. Regardless, Judy has gone on her own adventure upstairs into the attic.
Yeah.
Where she finds the mirror and a piece of chalk that just says, "Miss me." Now, there is one really cool effect that they use in this scene that I think is a very simple in-camera effect that if you're trying to make a cheap horror movie, think about doing something like this. They have the effect where her flashlight flashes over things and they're moving as if something has just run past them.
Right.
So, but all it is just slightly moving back into place.
Yeah.
So it's almost like her light is just missing whatever it is that's running away from her. And I think that's a great, very simple scare that really is effective, that does work.
It is.
Yeah.
It freaks me out. They've done it in multiple movies. It's scary.
Yes. Now, this is where she like climbs down out of the attic. She hears what she thinks is one of the young twins, goes after her. No, it's Annabelle, and this is where it becomes a giant Annabelle. And again, I just think it's goofy and it isn't really effective as a scare. But she kind of collapses on the stairs, and Ed and Lorraine rush back inside, and she's just like, there's something in the attic. They go upstairs, they realize it's the mirror.
Yeah.
And then we cut downstairs. Where they're meeting with the family, and they're like, oh, yeah, that's actually kind of our mirror. We were supposed to take care of it, but then we like had a baby or whatever.
Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry we put you guys in so much danger by not killing a mirror.
Not killing a mirror. And then we never went back for that lady at the antique store, so she's probably dead.
Oh, yeah, she got Oculus. Mike Flanagan got her.
Yeah, she got Oculus to death. Completely dead. Never went back. But they're like, but we're not going to leave you. But as this is happening, Judy is getting sicker. Like she's coughing. And they're like, all right, we're going to take the mirror back to our house so it can kill us at home.
Right. It's the only place that's safe for it, our tough shed.
Right. And so Lorraine is like, I don't know, something about this feels different. I'm not sure what it wants. And essentially what feels different is that the mirror wants Judy. It's like, hey, I killed you as a baby. It's like Final Destination. It's like, if you get mirror killed as a baby, then death is going to come find you.
Yeah, honestly, this movie is very Final Destination. Like, death missed the baby when it was a fetus, so, like, it has to eventually take its number. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So they try to carry the big mirror down, and they establish Chekhov's drywall ceilings.
Yes. This scared me, though, because it happens very abruptly.
Right. So they're carrying the mirror. It's getting heavier. They try to get it down. It crushes the leg of the Smurl dad, Papa Smurl.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, Tony is trying to get the car to start. It won't start. He tries to drive down the street to pull around to the house so that they can like get the mirror and whatever. There's, of course, a ghost lady in the road. And so he crashes into the chain link fence at the back of the Smurl house, resulting in the most unnecessary and not well shot overhead establishing shot.
I know. It's like the ghost floats up above them and then goes through the back door of the house.
Yeah.
I was like, what are we watching right now? Like, what is this?
What is this?
Yeah. It was like, guys, we have $400,000 left of CGI budget. What should we do?
Yeah. Meanwhile, they take Judy and they're like, we got to put her to bed. And I was like, on the haunted bed? Like, what are you doing?
Right.
Because Judy is getting really sick. But Lorraine smells a ghost. And so she kind of goes walking around. And then it comes upon Judy in the corner singing. I was like, that ain't Judy.
No, it is not.
But this is basically the demon being like, we've been waiting to take Judy back. Ha ha ha, spider crawl, which knocks Lorraine into the basement.
Yeah.
And Judy is now full ass possessed.
Yeah.
Tony, after the car accident, is trying to get back into the house because he can see possessed Judy walking around as everyone else in the Smurl house is just like, no, like, stay back. Like, she's not doing anything. She's just walking around with bloody eyes. And people are like, no.
I mean, that would be scary, Paige.
It'd be scary.
The last time I saw someone with bloody eyes, though, it's because they drank so much that they threw up so hard it popped a blood vessel in their eye.
Oh,
and that was
brutal.
less scary and more kind of hilarious.
That can happen if you get really sick. You get sick enough, they'll do it.
Happened to my buddy Brian. I don't want to. Let's just say we call him Cheese. That was his name. We called him Cheese for a long time.
Ugh.
He's been my friend since middle school. Like it's that kind of nickname.
Isn't he the one with the cool Italian dad that's a great cook?
Yeah.
See, I'm remembering.
Yeah, more or less.
Anyway, we do get a hilarious like, I want to dance with somebody.
Yeah.
I'm going to whisper sing with somebody.
With somebody who haunts me.
I want to carry this mirror. I want to break this mirror to shards. Anyway,
Yeah.
she is like, there's nobody here. You're not here. And then touches Ed's chest and he immediately has a heart attack. Then Lorraine downstairs like sees the basement murder. She's being chased by the ghosts, whatever. Tony gets her out. Ed takes Pyrin tablets. And he's like, all right, I'm back in fighting shape after having a literal heart attack.
Yeah. Heart attacks have the same effect on Ed as heart attacks in the SNL universe when they're doing the Bears sketch. You know what I'm saying? Like when he stands up and starts punching himself in the chest and then he's like, no, I'm good. I can go back to eating bratwurst and cheese and drinking beers with you.
Good.
I just finished my heart attack now. It's like that kind of recovery speed.
Exactly. But they all run upstairs and Judy is hanging in the attic. So
yeah.
Tony holds her up so that it's not on her neck. Ed cuts her down. Everyone crashes through the ceiling down into the house because they're going to destroy this entire fucking house.
Yeah. She is like dead weight because she is like passed out.
Right.
So she might not have broken her legs, but if she straight legged that fall, she definitely has 2 broken legs.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Because she falls pretty far. I mean, they all do.
And the mirror is still in the hallway because they still haven't managed to pivot and get it down the stairs.
No, they're terrible. They're like trying to move a mirror down the hallway, so they turn it sideways. And of course, you can't get in the hallway, guys.
Right. They're carrying it like flat, which is just, and then crushing Tony under it and whatever.
Yeah.
And so like they do CPR on Judy. She comes back and she like sees in the mirror. Lorraine sees in the mirror. And then Lorraine has like this thought of like, oh, I always told her to hide her gift, but like we shouldn't hide the gift. Like she should be able to use it.
This is the let it go moment for Judy.
Right.
Except it's you're not real is the affirmation.
You're not real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it's not real.
You're not here.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Ed is doing the exorcism. The book catches on fire and he just shoves the flaming book at the mirror.
Yeah.
He's real. Jesus Christ, I love you, God. Like that, like energy of it.
Yeah, perfect. You can just say perfect. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. But they all then like together touch the mirror and it breaks. And then they rescue Tony and they just have the you're not there. The mirror falls. And then it's just a title card of like, they all remain close. And now the mirror's in the haunted museum. And they give Tony the keys.
Yeah.
And he has one lasting look at Annabelle because, of course, that's going to be the next movie or whatever.
Right.
We then cut to their wedding. Now, I do think it's kind of fun that in the wedding, there's a bunch of people from other Conjuring movies, like the girls from 2 and everything are there.
Yeah, it's cute. Yeah.
It's cute. And Lorraine is like, I had a vision last night that we'll be grandparents and like our life will be full of warmth and love or whatever. And then we get those wild, offensive title cards at the end that grossly misrepresent what the Warrens did in their life. And that's the
fiction.
movie.
So, Paige, having seen the movie, having watched the movie, what did you think about The Conjuring Last Rites?
It's not my least favorite because I think the one before this was my least favorite.
I do think 3's my least favorite as well. Yeah. I do think this is actually quite a bit better than 3.
I would agree with you. Yeah, 3 was wild bad.
Yeah.
I would rank them 2, 1, 4, 3, I think.
That is probably the same for me. And I don't know, we'd have to go back and like look at the scary scale, but that's probably how I'm going to rank them around that for scary scale. Because this movie did scare me more than 3, I think.
Yes.
But I don't remember what I gave 3. This is one of those movies that like, if you are a horror fan, go see it. It's better than the third one. And it's like, they know how to make scary movies. Like, even though, I don't know if James Wan actually directed this one or if he just produced it, but like, it is done like it's a James Wan directed movie, which is great. I mean that in a good way, you know, like, it looks like it wasn't. It was Michael Chavez, it looks like, who directed it, but it's really still well done. And he's the guy who did The Curse of La Llorona, which has the most attractive woman in all of Mexico in it. So it can't be bad.
And so many seeds.
Yes, it does. Anyway, Paige, do you have some fun facts for us?
I do.
Well, here it is with your fun facts. Last Rites, fun facts.
If you are curious in other dramatizations of the Smurl family's haunting, it was dramatized in the TV movie The Haunted from 1991.
Yeah.
Now, according to some sources, allegedly, air quotes, an exorcist was assigned to the Smurl case by Cardinal Joseph Ratzinger, who would later become Pope Benedict the 15th. If I'm reading my Roman numerals correct.
It should be XV if it's 15.
XVI, so 16.
Yeah, so 16, yeah.
In 2005. Now, according to the Catholic Church officially, they never authorized an exorcism for that.
Yeah, of course. That's part of the lore, though. Like, isn't it like that they, the Warrens, being the they, operate outside of the sanctioned exorcism system, right?
Right.
They're like the A team for the like Catholic universe, right? Like they're the ones that will do the exorcism that the regular church won't do. You know, it's like that.
But they also, the idea that they were authorized to perform exorcisms is grossly misrepresented. They almost never were. They were authorized to go check out a haunting occasionally.
Yeah, anybody can do an exorcism though. It's just like,
right.
Yeah.
You know, so like, it's not like they were the church's exorcists. That's
right.
Russell Crowe.
Exactly. The Pope has an exorcist and that's Russell Crowe.
It's the guy on a Vespa who wrote that crazy book that's also probably mostly lies.
He took a Vespa from Italy to Spain, guys. Drove a Vespa from Italy to Spain in that movie.
Where's our sequel of Pope's Exorcist?
Paige.
Give me that shit.
Yes.
It is coming, allegedly. I can't wait. Now, this is supposed to be the last Conjuring movie with Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga as Ed and Lorraine. Allegedly, they have debated either continuing with the kids or doing prequels with the Warrens as younger actors, potentially with some of the younger actors they used in this, which I wouldn't mind, I guess. I don't know. I mean, there's other cases, I guess, but
I would honestly love them to leave the world of the real and just have fun and don't tie it to anything real. Like, it's the tying it to real stuff that I don't like about the universe. Everything else is kind of dope because that allows you to like live in the world creates and not the one that like we live in, you know?
Yeah. Here's what I'm saying though. I want my Black Phone universe instead.
Oh, I don't think we have to choose one or the other, but if I did, I'd choose Black Phone over this. Yeah. I like that world better because it's not real and I can sink into the not realness of it. Yeah.
Yes, you can play with a lot of different stuff. Now let's talk about the Smurl case a little bit more for a bit. The demon that is alleged to have attacked the Smurls was allegedly a succubus, a female demon who is described in various folklore as appearing in the dreams of male humans in order to seduce them. They did bring several priests to do house blessings in the house, but other people also lived in the house after they left, and none of those people reported anything odd or supernatural, but some have gone on record as saying that they saw and heard nothing, like literally have like, I have not seen anything. I think it's a hoax because I live here and I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, but and I'm just saying this is like devil's advocate or demon's advocate maybe.
Right.
That just proves that the Warrens are good at what they do. Like they're quick. and they get the job done. You're welcome. Your house is no longer haunted.
You would hope. We've covered this every other time that we've done a Conjuring movie, but throughout the house, you can see places that spell out Valak, which was the name of the demon in specifically the second film, but in several movies in the Conjuring universe, that seems to be the demon behind the nun.
Okay.
So in Heather's bedroom, there's a poster on the wall of the band Queen. Ben Hardy, who played Tony in this movie, also played the drummer, Roger Taylor, in Bohemian Rhapsody in 2018. So that's kind of fun.
Nice, yeah.
Just one tiny fun fact. So Judy Warren was born in 1946, not in 1964 as depicted in the movie.
Okay. That's a pretty big discrepancy.
Yes. There's two potential continuity errors. So at the conference, they mentioned Annabelle Mullins, but in the other movies, it's Annabelle Higgins. So maybe that was just something they didn't catch.
Fair enough.
And then we did mention it, but just to give you an idea of who all is at Judy and Tony's wedding, they're members of the Perrin family, the Hodges family, the Glatzel family, all of whom are the families from Conjuring 1, 2, and 3, respectively. And those are your fun facts.
Well, thank you for those fun facts, Paige. Let's talk a little bit about The Pope's Exorcist 2, just to say that in May of this year, it was given a green light and they have started working on production. But that was as of an article from July, and there's been no news since then that I could find quickly. So it looks like they are going to make one, but I don't know where they are in that cycle. But that article does say that Russell Crowe is returning as Father Amorth.
Yes!
And by the way, that article was on Ruthless Reviews, so if you want to look that up, that's where I found it. But let's talk about the box office for the Conjuring movies. So, Paige, what do you think the production budget was for Last Rites this year? Because it came out this year.
I'm going to say, because they don't spend as much as you would think on these movies, and then they print money, I'm going to say this cost $30 million.
Okay, it's quite a bit more than that, Paige, but they could spend way more than this.
Right.
But this budget was $55 million.
Okay, all right, that makes sense. It's on the screen.
It's a healthy budget, yeah. But I'll say this is the most expensive one they've ever done. The next two that were close to this were both $40 million. And that was Devil Made Me Do It and The Conjuring 2. So this is the most expensive one, but they've all made tons of money. So like they could have spent more on this.
Yeah.
This movie came out September 5th. So just a few months ago of this year, obviously 2025. It was number 1 the weekend it came out. It beat Hamilton in theaters by a ton. Hamilton was number 2. Weapons was also out, but had been out for 5 weeks. Number 4 was Freakier Friday, and number 5 was Caught Stealing. What do you think Conjuring: Last Rites made in its opening weekend?
Ooh, I think opening weekend, this probably made, let's see, its budget was
55, but yeah, it's close.
55?
Yeah.
I bet this makes easily 28 million opening weekend.
Paige, I gotta toggle back so I can see your face when I tell you it was $84 million. On a $55 million budget, like I just said, they made 84.
Not surprised.
Insane.
Not surprised.
These things print money.
They do.
Paige, I'm not going to go through every week, but let's just say for the first 6 weeks, it was in the top 5. It did very well. In its 7th week, it was 8th, and then in its 8th week, it fell to 13th. And then that was right around Halloween. So it fell out of theaters a few weeks after Halloween. Its last weekend was November 21st of this year. So it was in theaters for 12 weeks. The majority of those 12 weeks, actually half of those 12 weeks, it was in the top 5. Paige, what do you think it brought in domestically at the box office?
I think this brought in domestically 189.
You are so close. It's 177.7. Again, on a $50 million budget. This also brought in $316.9 million internationally. So this one movie has made almost $500 million at $494.6 million, making it the most box office any movie in the Conjuring series has reached at almost $500 million. The next closest one was The Nun at 366, and then Conjuring 2, then Conjuring 1, then Annabelle Creation, The Nun 2, Annabelle Comes Home. The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It is second to last, and then The Curse of La Llorona is at the bottom, with only making $123 million on a $9 million budget. Like, even the, quote, bad ones that don't perform well still print like $100 million for them.
Yeah.
These are definitely movies that I could see the production company finding a way to continue doing, and I think they should. They clearly have cracked the formula on this stuff. Anyway, that is your box office page. Do you want to hit us with that scary scale?
Our scary scale is the scale of how scary we found the movie today when we watched it, with 1 being Ghostbusters and 10 being Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Todd, where are you going to put this?
I'm going to give it a 5. I was squirming a little bit. It scared me. Even the tense moments got me. It was more than just the jump scares. Anyway, 5.
5.
You were probably laughing too much. I get it.
Too much. In a theater, I might have given this a 2 or a 3. I think max I could give it would be a 2, but it was closer to a 1 for me.
That's fair. I mean, do you want to call it officially a 1 since you didn't watch it in the theater?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's our scary scale.
Yeah. So this week we got to watch Last Rites as we close out our last episode of 2025. How are we going to kick off 2026 as we do our first movie for January?
So we've got some options because January's theme, as always, is new movies. So these are horror films from 2025 that we have not gotten to yet, essentially.
Yeah.
So one of the movies that a lot of people talked about that we didn't get a chance to do last year that we definitely want to do and is now on streaming is next week's movie, which is Good Boy.
I remember hearing about this movie. This is probably going to be really hard for me to watch because it's like whenever a dog gets like hurt or might get hurt, like in this movie, Judy, when she's possessed, picks up the dog and throws it against the wall with her mind. The dog is fine, but like that was hard for me to watch, you know? So like I can only imagine what we're going to have to watch this dog go through in Good Boy. But that is your homework for next week, is to watch the movie Good Boy that came out this most recent year, 2025.
Do you have any reviews for us, Todd?
I do. This week, I'm going to read a Spotify comment from one of our most recent, actually the most recent as to when we're recording this episode, and that is the Hot Fuzz episode. And this one comes in from Chloe, and they say, "Thank you for being one of the few podcasts to acknowledge that this is a horror action comedy. It takes so much inspiration from folk horror that it's horror by association, at least." And we agree. I think we said that a few times and you're just sort of echoing that.
It's Cop Wicker Man.
Yes, which is also the Nicolas Cage version, which I kind of love that one too. But thank you, Chloe, for saying that. And we agree with you, obviously. So if you want to have me read your 5-star Apple review or your Spotify comment, leave us one of those things and I will absolutely do just that. So guys, if you like this show but want to hear Paige and I talk about romantic comedies or just regular romantic movies, check out our other podcast, some might call it a sister podcast, called Romancing the Pod, where we do just that weekly. It's a lot like this show, but for romance and romantic comedies, because Paige doesn't like them. So we make her watch them, just like you guys make me watch horror over here. But if you want to follow me, I am at Todd J. Awesome on all the social media. Paige is at Rampage Wesley on Instagram?
Yes, and TikTok.
And just Paige Wesley on Twitter, because you got that before some CEO lady and she wanted it, but you wouldn't give it back, and I respect you for that.
Refuse.
Also, Paige
Suck it, other Paige Wesley.
Paige is also on another podcast. It's great. You should check it out. It's called Cult Podcast with Armando Torres, who is a wonderful person. And guys, we got a P.O. box. So if you want to send us some love letters or whatever you might send to a P.O. box, it's actually not a P.O. box. It's like a regular street address. It's pretty awesome. It's 6688 Nolensville Road, number 108-34, Brentwood, Tennessee 37027. So send us some stuff. And if you want to support this show, go to Patreon at patreon.com/horrorvirgin, where there are a lot of great levels and a lot of great things. We do the Patreon shout outs at the beginning of every episode. We do listener requests, stuff like that, bonus episodes. So you'll be getting all of that content, plus episodes a day early with no ads, and who doesn't love that? So sign up for the Patreon and get a lot of great stuff.
That's going to be it for us, you guys. I'm Paige.
And I'm your horror virgin, Todd.
Keep it ooky spooky.
Yeah, have an amazing week, guys. Bye! I think Ed and Lorraine Warren were better on Good Morning from Hell, Nerds.